Hi guys, hi 3 stars and a sun. I hope you can hear me. Can you let me know that I know? Hopefully the audio is working on this. It worked last night. I hope it's working. I hope you can hear me. I've got some people who are hopefully going to tune in. I'm probably starting this a little earlier than people were expecting when I was talking about doing this. So, hey 3 stars, can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. I hope. I hope I'm not talking to myself and that no one can hear me. I'm kind of waiting for a few of my YouTube friends to show up here. Thank you, Shin. Can you hear me, Shin? I'm going to ask you via text. Hey, AJ Beauty TV. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm hoping so much to get a little push to YouTube so that they will recognize my over 250,000 minutes on my channel and give me the go-ahead to start the process for monetization. But they're a little behind, and I don't know if they're just behind because of how things are going with the world and the coronavirus. And you know, I think Google, Alphabet, and YouTube have most of their employees trying to work from home. So I don't know if that's the problem or if I just need to keep pushing out some of these live streams to really crank up my watch minutes and hours and kind of get my channel noticed. So here I am. So thank you. Appreciate. Just checking in on the chats and things to see who can make it. I hope we get a few more people in. We had a really nice conversation last night. A bunch of people from groups and around the world were kind of tuning in. We had Jay-Z was able to be here very shortly from the UK, although it was like 3 a.m. She needed to go. And then we had Ganesh from Ocala and Jess from Kentucky, and Heather was calling in from Texas, or was joining us from Texas. So appreciate you guys coming in here. I'm kind of looking and watching the chats and things. Oh. You guys doing okay where you live? I had to go into work today, and needless to say, after a very crazy weekend, on Monday morning, the office, all anybody was wanting to talk about today was obviously the state of the world's health and the economy. And a lot of people in our office were wondering whether or not we needed to actually be in the office because so many large corporations are telling people to work from home. So been a bit of a crazy day. Looks like we lost a few people. Hoping to grab more people on here. Anyway, so it's been a crazy day. I have put in an official request to my employer to ask them to allow me to work from home. I just, you know, I take care of I take care of my parents. I'm kind of their primary caregiver, and I don't want to be around people I don't need to be around if I can work from home. So I've made that request. In fact, actually tonight when I left work, I made a trip into their local town and stopped and bought them a whole bunch of groceries so that they didn't need to leave their home. Got those delivered. Hey, Rufus. Thanks so much for coming in here. Appreciate. I'm just jibber jabbering a little bit about my day. So what I was saying is that I have put an official request into my employer to see if they will allow me to work from home. I would say that about 95% of the accounting work that I do. Hey, Tommy TV. Hey, there will come a little time. Thank you guys so much for jumping in here. just kind of doing a little jibber jabber. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and helping to support my channel. I've got emails popping up on my work computer here. Actually, I have the news on right now, and I've got people texting and letting me know they're going to try to get in on this chat, so appreciate that. But let's see, where I left off was I am kind of the primary caregiver for my parents, who are senior citizens and have definitely have some health concerns, and so they are sequestered in their home, and I have asked my employer to let me work from home so that I'm definitely concerned that I might pick up this coronavirus at work from a coworker. And I don't want to obviously expose my elderly parents who definitely have some major underlying health concerns. So one of the things actually I did today is stopped by the local market and got them a couple of weeks worth of food, so that they would be okay for a couple of weeks, wouldn't need to leave their home, would be all happy and healthy and have no reason to leave, because thank you very much. There will come a time. I appreciate it. I guess it's, as a child, it's our kind of our responsibility to try to take care of our parents. And I'm being very careful. I called them as I got to their house and I said, hey, come get your groceries, because I don't want to expose them to me. They came and got their groceries out of my vehicle and stayed away from me, and I'm staying away from them as much as I can. They came out with just a dust mask over their face, and they had some gloves on, and took everything into the house, and they wiped everything down with some cleansing wipes or some cleanser, just to make sure that if somebody who was stocking in the market had any kind of illness or virus, that they kind of disinfected everything before it went in their cupboards or their refrigerator or freezer. So I'm trying to do my best to kind of help educate them, keep them thinking about keeping themselves clean and everything around them clean, and then keeping them pretty much locked in their house. I feel like that sounds terrible, but obviously that's kind of the thing that we need to do right now. So, hey, ADIF Dream Trips, thank you so much for being here. Hey, Connor, how you doing, bud? I saw your text messages today. Appreciate and welcome. Welcome to the group. I'm just kind of jibber jabbering right now. Tommy TV, hey. JR Lifestyles, hello. This is awesome. Hey, if you guys get a chance, I would love to kind of know where everybody is in the world. I'm obviously in North America, and to be honest with you, I've never actually revealed my true location on YouTube, and I'm a little hesitant to do so. I'm just going to tell you I'm in the central part of the US and kind of in the northern part. I'm definitely not in Canada. Whew, too cold up there, but oh, that's awesome. Ireland, are you guys doing okay? You're getting hit pretty hard, I guess. As bad as we are, I think. Connor. Hey, Connor, there is nothing wrong with that. We appreciate it. I have to say, I've been trying to be active in there, chatting and stuff with the group, but if you kind of read up through our chats, I am somewhat obsessed with the whole YouTube thing right now. I have over 250,000 watch minutes, which is well over 4,000 hours of watch time, and YouTube is not having any of it. They gave me 5 hours of watch time for the last 24 hours, which is really sad, because I did a live stream last night. I was online for, I think our live stream was just shy of like 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes or 2 hours and 25 minutes. And, we had various people coming and going. And hey, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Hi, Grethel. Hey, Appleberry. Hey, guys. Awesome. I just kind of asked everybody. Oh, Romania. That's great. Good to know. I know, Connor. And I guess I'm not the only one. So here's my thought. Okay, first of all, my thought is they're just being grumpy and they're messing with my brain, because I know I'm preparing to, monetize, and I'm a little bit nervous and excited about it. The other thing I'm thinking is, it's been announced here in the US that Alphabet, Google's parent, Google, and YouTube, obviously all part of under the Alphabet umbrella, they are having most of their employees are working from home. In fact, if you go in your creator studio on YouTube, you will see there's a note in there. If you click on it, you find out more information. They're basically saying that they're letting the algorithm take over, and that some YouTube videos that may have suspicious content may be automatically removed by the algorithm with no human review. That it may happen, and all you can pretty much do is request a review of it, and it's going to be a bit of a wait, they say, due to the fact that most of their employees are working from home and kind of on, you know, they're not really furloughed, but, you know, they're not able to work together in their team environment. So my wonder and concern is the fact that maybe they're a little bit backed up because they have been working, I believe, from their homes, most of them, for sometime since the middle of last week or the week before. So maybe they're behind. I'm trying to think positive and not get all panicky about it, but I wanted to do some live streams to kind of push some more watch time through my channel and see if I can get YouTube's attention to maybe check the 4,000 hours of watch time checkbox, because I have them. If I go into my analytics, I am at 250,000 hours. As of this morning, it was just over 250,000 minutes. So, hey, Cyber Mustang. Hey, bud. Good to see you guys. This is fun watching these chats. I really appreciate you guys coming in here and supporting my channel. Like I said, I'm really hoping that YouTube will maybe wake up a little bit and I can kind of push things along. So, hey, Coffee in the Kingdom. So anyway, I'm going to kind of try to scroll through. We were kind of saying where everybody's at. Appleberry, yep, I know you're in New Zealand. That's awesome. I hope to visit your country someday. It's so beautiful there. Grethel is watching from Norway. Hey, Grethel. I'm in the United States, kind of in the central part. Surprise with Sophia, Florida. So we had a gentleman on last night who was from the Ocala area. I'm not sure where in Florida you are, but Florida is one of my favorite states. I actually lived there a number of years ago, not for a long time, but I lived actually in Ocala for a short period of time, and then I lived in the Tampa area for a short period of time. If you are familiar with Tampa, I was near Ybor City. So JR Lifestyle, welcome from Michigan. You're another kind of central northern United Stateser. That's pretty cool. J Beauty, hey, from Virginia. Hey, how are you guys doing out there on the East Coast? Things are looking kind of crazy out there. And you are probably, I don't know where in Virginia you are, but it looks like things were getting kind of wild in Washington and obviously north of there in Jersey and New York. So London, who is it in London? Oh yeah, Connor, you're still in London. That's exciting. Just trying to scroll up and down through all these. Hey, thank you. Are you saying I have an accent? This is what we call the Midwestern accent. First of all, we are told we don't have an accent, but we do have an accent. And then we're told we talk really fast. And I have to agree with that. I actually feel like I talk fairly slow for somebody who lives in my area, because I have coworkers that talk way faster than I do. I actually have been working on slowing down my speed of speech because of being a YouTuber creator, and I can get talking so fast I can trip over myself, and just, it's kind of funny. So Connor, I don't know. I think my folks so far are doing okay. I am, like I said, I'm doing my best to keep them. It sounds terrible to say this, but I'm really trying to keep them locked in their home where they're safe. So I did go and get them some food. I tried to get them about 2 weeks worth of food. Just because the more I venture out to do things for them, the more risk I have and potentially being exposed, and I don't want to expose them. So we do take some precautions. I actually, once I put the food in my car, the boot of my car, or the trunk, I called them on my cell phone and said, I'm 2 minutes out, glove up, put some masks on. And the whole reason why I wanted them to mask up was not because of interacting with me. It was because they're so elderly and so set in their ways. And my mom she's very asthmatic. She has COPD, which is chronic obstructed pulmonary disease. She has very difficulties breathing. And so she's constantly coughing and touching her face. And so I wanted her to, first of all, have gloves on, because I wanted her to disinfect all our groceries that I brought them. but I didn't want her in the process of unpacking them and cleaning them to be touching her mouth or her nose. I wanted, if she accidentally went for her face, her to have that coverage over her mouth, be like, oh, So I did tell her, glove up, put some sort of a dust mask on, and it's really only to keep her from if she had a contaminated hands from touching her face. So trying to do the things like that, I mean, they're pretty elderly and they're kind of set in their ways, and so they need these little reminders. And she was good. She told me they got everything unpacked and everything got wiped down with a cleansing solution, like a little bit of a bleach solution to kill any bacteria. And then she ungloved. So I feel confident that, she should be okay so far. But yeah, so let's see. I'm trying to catch up on you guys' chit-chatting. So hi, Fart and Freddy. Are you passing a little bit of human gas? So sorry to see that, or maybe I'm happy to see it for you. If it makes you feel better, my friend. Oh, ADIF dream tips. I see you said you put the sound on mute, so you can't even hear me. So Connor, yeah, my mom is definitely at risk, more so than my father, but my father's not healthy either. So, if one of them gets it, they're both going to get it. And I don't want to be burying my parents this year because they got coronavirus. It's scary. You're very lucky in the UK. Unfortunately, here in the United States, our federal government didn't take this seriously, and now it's too late. We have kind of charted our trend, and we are comparing it here in the United States, comparing it with Italy, and we are almost day by day exact with Italy, 2 weeks behind. So we are trending to see massive deaths in 2 weeks. It's, I think Italy reported 350 fatalities yesterday, which is, it's terrible. So we have a lot of at-risk people here in the United States. I think as a whole, our population is not particularly healthy, so it's pretty scary. Hey, Ihor, thank you so much for joining us from Italy. I hope you are doing well. We are very clearly concerned for you all. Fart and Freddy, you got cornholio, so yeah, that's nice, my friend. You're being kind of a smart Alice, so we may have to. Cyber Mustang, you have a sore throat now. Oh boy, is that from talking too much, or is that from, are you sick? Yeah, it's pretty hard to do a live stream without talking. I tell you, I spoke for about 2.5 hours last night, and my voice was quite tired. I'm not used to chit-chatting quite that much. Ihor, it's good you're on lockdown. It's better to be safe. Like I said, I'm kind of helping my parents lock themselves down. Fortunately, they're retired, and they're not real happy about not being able to go out and do the things they're wanting to do, but they're also completely terrified that they will get this disease and that they will get sick and potentially die. So yeah, so Palermo, okay. Oh, I've heard so much that you guys are singing to one another in Italy, and I think that's really cool. So I myself, I live out in the countryside, where in the state I live in, I'm actually on a farm. So I have 2 neighbors who are fairly close, but other than that, my neighbors are many acres or hectares away. So well, we can definitely go out and sing, but we would be singing to our livestock more so than our neighbors. So we would have to call each other on the telephone to sing to each other, or do this. And you wouldn't want to hear me sing. I don't carry a tune well, so it's so sad just to see what's going on in Italy and in the rest of the world. It's unbelievable that if you think about 4 months ago, we were all preparing to celebrate Christmas and New Year's and have, a wonderful time. I'm just looking, my news feed is refreshing on my other computer. I think I have CNN up here just to see what's going on, because there's so much breaking news. It's hard to keep up. So I would love it if my neighbors were singing some opera or serenading. Yes, please. Please give this a like. I would appreciate it so much. Would really, really appreciate that so much. So anyway, thanks, Connor. Appreciate the reminder. I'm just trying to get through some of these and to remove some rather obnoxious commentary. It is to EDIF dream trips. It's hard. I feel very fortunate if I am allowed to work from home and we are sequestered to, asked to stay in our homes. I live in the country, so I can certainly go out and take a walk around our property and be fine, because we have acreage and farmland. We're actually spring is just coming in, and we're starting to talk about prepping things for planting in a couple of months here. Some early crops can go in about a month. So I know a lot of my neighbors, because they're kind of self-quarantining themselves. They're just getting their tractors ready for planting and their planters ready, and things are kind of getting ready to go. They're making the best of what they can and getting started on stuff. So I feel bad if you guys can't go out. I think I would go stir crazy. I think it's kind of fortunate that we have the technology that we do have. We have, telephones, and we have internet for the most part. I think everybody's got to have access to internet, or majority of the, first world countries do. And we can certainly either do things like this, where we can use Skype or just pick up a phone. And we're trying to do that with my family, especially with my elderly parents, phone calls and things, so that they don't feel quite so lonely. I feel very fortunate that we can do that. So, hey, Michael, thanks for joining. So good to meet you. So where are you from? We're kind of, if you scroll up through the chat comments, we're kind of just letting people know what countries we're in, or, if you're in the United States, kind of where in the United States you are. I'm in the central part of the US. We have people from the UK here, from Italy, from New Zealand, so on and so forth. So you might check that out. It's kind of interesting. We're kind of mainly chitter-chatting a little bit about how this world pandemic is affecting us. I don't know. It's hard. I'm trying to maintain a positive attitude, because it is so stressful, and I think it's very easy to the weight of all this news and the turmoil to kind of weigh you down and really throw you into a depression. But I'm trying to be optimistic. Here in North America, spring is coming. We're looking forward to green grass, leaves on the trees, flowers. Thank you, Michael. I will definitely make sure to follow you back after my live stream or tomorrow. I have another computer off here to my side. I'm just kind of checking out some of the news to see what's going on. It says live updates: another country closes its borders. Let's see if I can figure out what that is. So here in the United States, the California city of San Francisco is going under lockdown. That was announced. They're hard hit, and they are trying to contain it to get give their hospitals a bit of a break. So 6,500 deaths worldwide. That's pretty sad. So Colombia has closed its borders. Let's see. I'm just looking to see what kind of little news tidbits I'm finding out. There's some interesting stuff about the entertainment world. It's not really all that great. Oh, okay, Michael, you're in England, in the northern part of the UK. Are you in Wales, or are you further than that? Always curious to find out where everybody's in. Hey, Jess, welcome back, my Kentucky friend. Thank you so much for coming back. We missed you. Just kind of getting see who's here. I'm reading Cyber Mustang TV's comment. Yeah, so in my state, we mentioned this, or I talked about this last night. The governor of my state has called off all public schools. They were not allowed to be in session today. So it was an interesting drive into work. I work fairly early in the morning. I report to my office no later than 7:30 in the morning, and then I work till 5 o'clock. So it's a rather long day. And I usually try to leave my the farm at about 7 o'clock. Gives me a half an hour to make my commute in. Especially during the school year, I generally can run into school buses and that type of thing to kind of slow me down. School zones as I get into the city, and there was none of that today. And the highways coming into the bigger city were very eerily quiet. So I actually got into work pretty quickly. It was almost like summertime when school's out. It was just there was hardly anybody on the roads, and that was really weird. So, 50 miles from Scotland. How nice. Beautiful, beautiful, Michael. JR lifestyle, yeah, it's crazy for us. Well, it's crazy for everybody. It's insane. I feel very fortunate. The United States is a very large country. We're actually quite spread out if you really think about it, and compared to Europe. The smaller countries in Europe that are right next to each other and kind of on top of each other. So, I feel very fortunate that I live in the country so far away from a lot of the hustle and bustle and stuff. I don't live in an apartment complex or anything. I don't have neighbors right next door, so it's kind of nice. So J Beauty, okay, since the 12th, and they can't go out. They can't go out. What do you mean? I'm just curious what you mean by they can't go out until the 22nd. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you mean that they have to stay in the house, or? Yeah, right, Michael. I mean, this is the time to subscribe to those streaming, Hulu and some of those streaming services, and binge watch some TV shows, right? Catch up on a couple seasons. That's a great idea. Oh, Connor, I'm sorry. I read your post. I'm so sorry about that. That's not good. Oh, that's terrible. Just trying to kind of flip through. I'm sorry if I'm missing some comments. Amelia, hello. Amelia, it's good to see you. Yeah, isolated. Jeez, I'm so sorry. So one of the things we were talking about yesterday is being in North America, and it's coming into spring, whether or not people can plant little gardens. We were right, Jess. We were talking about this last night. Maybe ways to some plants you might be able to grow in pots. If you get a reasonable sized pot with some good dirt, maybe a pot that's maybe 10 inches deep by 10 inches wide, you might be able to maybe grow a tomato plant in that. And then maybe if you get like a longer pot, something that's a little bit longer, maybe grow some peas or some beans or something to kind of supplement. Certainly could probably grow some, especially early in spring. Lettuce is a very early spring produce that you can grow. So, we were trying to kind of come up with ideas that people could utilize in, if you've got if you're in an apartment and you've got a balcony, if you can put a couple pots and some plants out to maybe fresh produce or something. So Boris Johnson said he won't close the schools. He will close the stores and theaters, wants people to pull together. So I'm curious to see. Hey, OFW vlog, take care. We're this is, stressful times, but I think, people can come together and come up with some positive ideas to help each other out. You're doing it on your balcony. It's so good you have a balcony. I felt so terrible for the cruise ships the last few months. There were cruise ships that were, not allowed to go into port. I was thinking about the some that were like held in off the coast of Japan or in various countries, and those people were stuck on a cruise ship for like a month. They wouldn't let them off, and all they were doing was circulating the coronavirus infected air and getting more and more people sick. And can you imagine? I've only been on one cruise ship, and we were very fortunate to have a cabin with actually a balcony. But if you're on one of those staterooms or cabin rooms that is an interior room that has no window, no balcony, no source of daylight, I can't even imagine being locked in that 23 hours a day for 4 weeks or 5 weeks at a time. I think I would go completely crazy. That would be terrible. So I really felt terrible how those people were being treated. And then knowing they were kind of sitting there potentially, going to get sick because on the cruise ships, that air ventilation is all kind of intertwined. So that was really sad. I felt so bad for those people. And then we had a couple cruise ships come back into the United States where they didn't want them to debark either. So that's a tough one. At least if you're at home and you've got windows or a balcony, you're getting some natural light and some fresh air. But I felt pretty terrible for those people. So, this is actually not a bad idea for YouTube creators, especially if you're just like a vlogger. It kind of depends on what your channel is, but this is, an interesting time for YouTube creators to make some interesting content. You can certainly come up with some videos, kind of what we're talking about here when we're talking about, things you can do to maybe supplement your food in case there are food shortages. Like we talked about putting together a little garden with some pots and little vegetables, plant any kind of vegetables that you can that would maybe be easy to grow in pots, beans, peas, tomatoes, something like that. Definitely, I think fairly quick and easy to plant is lettuces, different types of lettuces. That would be really neat. You should definitely. Where are you at again, Cyber Mustang TV? Are you down in New Zealand? No, I can't remember where you're at. Yeah, so I had a couple coworkers who ran some errands at lunch today, and they said all the area restaurants were either closed or closing. One of my coworkers said he went to a place. It was like 12:30 in the afternoon, and the manager said, "We are closing in a half an hour, so you need to take your order to go." And he said, "Oh, are you just closing for the day?" And he said, "No, we don't know when we're going to reopen." So that really makes me sad because small industries are hard hit. They don't have the deep pockets or resources to kind of weather the storm, so to speak, for something like this monetarily. And then that does some really horrible things for the employees that work for them. I mean, if they don't have the cash reserves to be able to pay employees to furlough and pay employees to stay home, those employees, how do they pay their bills? How do they feed their families? So that's where I'm hoping that our federal government stops fighting with each other and figures this out, because they're the only ones that have the leverage in our country to do anything about this. So I'm just kind of checking the news sources here to see what's going on. I really wish our government would get it together and get some of these test kits available. We're still having a difficult time testing people to know who's got it and who doesn't have it. It's kind of scary. Yeah, that's right. You're in the Philippines. Okay, I thought so. Cyber Mustang. So yes, first day of spring on Friday. It's something to look forward to. I did notice when I went out, we finally lost all our snow cover end of last week and over the weekend, and all my little early spring flowers are coming up. Any of the ones that are either protected or southern face, they're up, a little bit like this. So my tulips are trying to come up, my little crocuses are trying to come up, my daffodils are trying to come up, and that makes me smile because there's nothing like that first pop of color in the spring when the grass is still more brown than green. The trees are struggling to create leaves. They're not quite there yet. And then you get this beautiful flash of color from the early spring flowers, the snowdrops and the tulips and the crocuses and daffodils, all those ones that are early. They're cold tolerant, but they're so vibrant and beautiful. I can't wait. I think that will put a smile on people's face. So your government mandated all companies to give 2 months prorated 13-month pay bonus to be credited tomorrow, 5 p.m. employees. That's wonderful. I'm hoping that they do something that basically says creditors are not allowed to impose late charges on people who can't pay their bills, that mortgage lenders may not foreclose on those who cannot pay their mortgages for a couple months. The U.S. Federal Reserve dropped the interest rate to 0. I mean, they need to pass legislation that says if people can't pay their mortgages or their bills for the next couple of months, they need to be making, some sort of accommodation to waive late fees and keep do something to keep people out of bankruptcy, because otherwise I think a large portion of our country will end up needing to declare bankruptcy. They're not going to be, if they can't work, they're not going to be able to pay their bills, not for an extended amount of time. And if we had a crystal ball and knew how long this is going to take and how long this problem, this virus was going to hit hard and how long this is going to last, that'd be great. But nobody can predict the future right now. So I'm quite sad for people who are losing their jobs, and I'm quite thankful that I think mine is safe at this point. So I hope and pray that it is. So hi, surprises, Sophia. You're very careful. Yes, for sure. If you're in the market, customer services, that's tough. Where is my trusty bottle of hand sanitizer? It's around here somewhere. Never too far away from my reach. And I'm in the confines of my home, and I have hand sanitizer. If you guys need to know how to make it, I've got a video on my channel I just did using rubbing alcohol, my trusty rubbing alcohol, 91%. And I use some beauty supplies. I use some of my facial beauty supplies, but you can also use, this is aloe vera. I just don't find that it mixes very well with aloe vera, so I'm using some beauty supplies. But Michael, you're too also on a farm. That's good to know. Yeah, Sophia, that's the problem, is so many people have no choice. I mean, you have to work to pay your bills, and that's like, I think, becoming the number one concern for Americans. Is we've seen in the last week where I live tons and tons and tons of business closings. The schools were shuttered. No public schools were allowed to hold any classes as of today. They were shuttered by our governor over the weekend. And so that adds an additional burden onto families who are, if both parents have full-time jobs, who takes care of the children while they're home. These are just really difficult, problems to answer. So, yeah, Michael, with the UK, with Brexit, you guys, no grants from Europe. You're kind of on your own, I guess. That's going to be tough. Can't help you there. Kind of the same thing we're in. I mean, it's up to our federal government. For the UK, it'll be up to your country's government to help you guys out. And hopefully you've got a strong economy there. Problem, I think, is going to be that the world is going to hit a recession with this. I mean, this virus has brought every country in this world to a screeching halt. Reading about all these countries that are closing their borders, it's not only just Europe, but not only North America, Central America, South America, the African continent. It's everywhere. I think the only continent where I have not heard that is free from the coronavirus is, I believe, Antarctica. May not have any cases. It's sparsely populated by a small group of scientists, but it's pretty much everywhere on every continent now. I don't know if it's in every country, but I have a feeling it probably is or will be very soon. It's kind of sad. It's not good. So it's kind of trying to flip through some of you guys, your comments here. Wow, Michael, you had no snow? Wow. So we had a weird winter too. It was bizarre. So our winter came very early for us. We had record snowfall last October. We had we normally will get like just a light dusting of snow once, maybe twice in October. It never sticks. It's kind of more like rain that turns to snow, and it's usually still a little too warm. Well, we had 3 significant record snowfalls. I think we've had like 4 inches of snow, 6 inches of snow, and then another like 4 or 5 inches of snow throughout the month. And that just is so strange. So, and it got quite cold. And then it kind of quit. It was weird. November and December were kind of strange months. It wasn't, we had some cold snaps, but we also had like record warmth. It was really weird. We would get a little snow, and then we would have like a week where it was way above normal temperatures. It was almost balmy. We would get temperatures, of course we're Fahrenheit here in the United States, but temperatures well above freezing, to where you could kind of run around outside without even a winter coat on. You could have a sweatshirt on, and that's, for where I live, that's incredibly unusual. So, and then it finally started to snow again in January. After the new year, we started to see snow, and then we were getting big snowstorms. We started getting a lot of snow, and then it got cold. We definitely got quite a few cold snaps where it got quite cold. And we ended up, where I live, we had, I think we had at least a foot to, in places, 18 inches of snow cover across the grounds. And that's a lot for where I live. Usually it kind of snows and then melts and then snows. So it was kind of wild. It was weird. We've had very weird weather. But they say there's no such thing as global warming. I don't believe it. I think there is. I think our weather's been just completely crazy, but I don't know. How you're watching that pandemic series? Oh boy, that would be interesting to be watching right now. It's produced in 2020. That's like right now is 2020. So we were talking with a friend over the weekend. I have a very good friend. I mentioned this last night. I have a very good friend who is a doctor. She works in an urgent care facility. We actually discussed the 1918 flu pandemic that hit. And yes, 50 to 100 million people died. I mean, that's terrifying. We discussed that, how many people had passed away. I'm shifting in my chair here. And we were talking about how the overwhelmed hospitals were dealing with that, and how they ended up, so many hospitals put tents up in their parking lots, and they were triaging and treating and caring for flu patients back in like 1918. They were treating them and caring for them out in these tents, and it occurred what would be in North America's winter time. And despite the cold and patients having to be treated in tents out in the cold, what they found was, when they did a study, those patients that were being cared for and were in beds outside of the hospital in the tents had a higher survivability rate. So that's interesting. I mean, that just tells you, hospitals aren't, it's kind of like, when we were just discussing the cruise ships. You're kind of contained in an environment, and the germs just kind of circulate. So that was really interesting. They discovered that literally 100 years ago, that the patients who were put in those open air tents had a higher survivability rate and got healthier quicker being out in a tent than they did being inside the hospital. So it's quite interesting. Yeah, that pandemic thing is scary. 3 below, Michael. It's been cold here. 2 years ago, it was 6 below. It was the hottest summer last year. Yeah, it's been crazy. We've had 2 summers in a row of crazy amounts of rain, like just nonstop rain, mud everywhere. It was a very, very difficult last couple of years to get fields planted because of the heavy rain and the concern of getting machinery stuck. And then there's a lot of fields around here that got planted they did not do well. It was just they had rot, seed rot, or fields that were just buried under too much water. They couldn't even plant them for the last couple of years. And then those that were planted and that did well this fall at harvest time, they had a terrible time trying to get in the fields at harvest because, for one, it was so wet that the products like corn and oats and soybeans were too wet to go in and harvest, or the fields themselves were still too wet and they couldn't get the heavy machinery in there. So we had people that were harvesting well into December in wintertime, trying to get, I think I was still seeing soybeans coming off in late November in this area, as well as corn. And I think it was really the two hardest hit crops in our area due to just the wet weather was the corn and the soybeans. Those are two pretty large commodities of agriculture in the area where I live. So that was really interesting to see. Thank you. There will come a time. I appreciate your comment. That's awesome. It's interesting to I think it's really cool to come out here on YouTube and to try to do one of these live streams and just chat with everybody on, from around the world. Jack Decker, welcome. I says, what are your thoughts on Israel? Do you mean as far as coronavirus, or that's kind of a loaded question. I think everybody has to remember we're all humans and we all live on this earth. You can't get off the earth. Most of us can't find a way to get off the earth anyway. I don't have a rocket ship to send me into space. So at some point, it's going to take something like this global pandemic for people to realize that maybe, especially here in America, I will throw my country under the proverbial bus and say it's time to stop with the petty fighting between the two factioned political parties. Stop with the petty behavior, the lies, the insults, the back and forth garbage, and it's time to come together and act for the greater good. And I am hoping that this pandemic, they've finally realized that they have to stop the fighting and they need to actually work together. It's gotten so bad over here that they were just not refusing to work together. Our president has been in office for over 3 years, and really nothing has been accomplished in this country. We have a lot of stumbling blocks. The Senate is ruled by his party. However, our House is not. And so, unfortunately, things that pass in the House do not pass in the Senate. Things that pass in the Senate do not pass in the House, and then nothing is being accomplished. So, certainly the news that's coming out right now is that they're all kind of getting their collective rear ends in gear and are trying to get over their petty differences for at least the time being. And I hope that they can mend some fences and work towards the betterment of America. I don't care which political party you're affiliated with. This crisis goes beyond politics at this point, and they need to work together. As our country is in a lot of trouble. It's sad. So I don't particularly appreciate a lot of fighting. I think it's quite petty, and it's been pretty bad. So, you were in Ukraine this winter and almost no snow. Wow, Ethor. Wow, Ethor. That's interesting. Yeah, it's weird. I actually love the study of meteorology. I really enjoyed it back in the Stone Ages when I was in high school. I really enjoyed studying meteorology, and I probably should have gone to school for that, but I didn't. I just find it fascinating. Trying to find ways to predict what Mother Nature is going to do. It's phenomenally interesting what they've come up with as far as attempting to predict our weather. But let's be honest with you, I don't think humans will ever understand the way that this planet truly works or be able to contain the way nature moves. And we just have to kind of find ways to deal with it. Whatever Mother Nature sends at us, snow, rain, drought, hurricanes, tornadoes. Oh, tornadoes. Fun fact, my farm got directly hit by a tornado 6 years ago. That was an interesting experience in my life. hope I don't ever have to go through that again. Luckily survived it with minimal damage. It's a scary experience, but good night, Michael. Go to bed, get some sleep. You need to sleep to stay healthy. So thank you so much for joining us, Michael. Hey, MAGA 2020. Anyway, yeah, Ukraine, no snow. That's interesting. Hey, Joe just came all over his phone. Interesting channel name. Leave my comment there. Anywho, Elite Fitness, Fit or Quit. Hello. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Try to hit that thumbs up. I appreciate that. I'm just going to check the news and see if there's anything else interesting going on. It seems to be changing about every 30 minutes. There's some new press release and some new interesting tidbit from around the world or even here in the U.S. Luckily, it seems quite quiet right now, but I don't know. Just trying to see. Jess, are you still here? Just wondering if you're still here. Piano, I'm reading your chat message here. Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. Recent years, winters in Ukraine is very different. Not much snow, other than rainy. We've definitely had a few years, the last couple of years. The previous winter, which would be 2018 to 2019 for us here in North America, we didn't have a lot of snow, but we had intense cold. So 2 winters ago, I mean, it was horribly cold. We had very, 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 very cold winters for long amounts of time. I mean, it was below zero, probably for, I think we had a point in January where it was sub-zero, like 3 or 4 weeks in a row with no break. And I mean, it was absolutely miserable, especially with minimal snow cover. That was pretty brutal. This winter, definitely milder winter for us as far as temperatures, and we had kind of all over a lot of snow, and then like no snow for a while and a lot of rain, and then we went back into heavy amounts of snow. So it's a little weird. I don't know. What's you're not okay? Well, that's nice. We're not going to talk about politics other than trying to hopefully find a way to get this world and this country through this pandemic. Maybe they can work together and put over their petty differences long enough to get us through this pandemic. So that's my hope. Kid, there's a lot of snow. Yeah, when I was a kid, now granted, I'm an old person, we had so much snow. I remember playing for hours out in our neighborhood. The snow piles along the driveways were several feet. We were making like snow fortresses and snowmen and just doing crazy things. And then it kind of all disappeared for so long. We didn't really have any great snow, but I remember as a kid, a lot of snow. So that seems to have really changed in the last couple decades. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. That's crazy. I don't know. I'm not kind of sure what kind of winter China was having. As far as we here in North America, in our winter months, this is when we see influenza, and we had a bad year for influenza this year when the discussions of coronavirus kind of started, and China really was starting to see, the beginning, the rise of cases. We were having a really bad influenza year here, and it actually, where I am located, it only peaked and started to decline, the influenza, about 3 weeks ago. So we were still seeing in the news more information on influenza because we were seeing a lot of a lot of elderly people passing away from influenza, and we were seeing some cases of children passing away due to severe influenza. So we were a little bit wrapped up with the influenza health concern, more so at that point than this COVID-19, because it was, kind of an immediate concern that was in our faces at the time. So as we're kind of seeing the end of our influenza season, this is when this coronavirus is really starting to, really starting to kind of take over the news now. So yeah, I don't know. We go from one thing to another here. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. Sorry, you guys. I'm having my live chat kind of lagged a little bit. So sorry about that. I'm also going to go put this idiot in timeout. Bye-bye. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Either keep it clean or bye-bye. Anyway, sorry, you guys. I'm trying to take care of these people who are being foolish and stupid. And bye-bye. Sorry about that, you guys. Kicking a few people out of here because they're just being tools, useless losers. So, Jess, good to see you. Did you come up with anything brilliant overnight? Did you solve world peace? I always ask that of my coworkers when they've had a long meeting, see if they solved world peace. At this point, did you have a good night overnight, and did you come up with any good stuff? I know, right? What are you gonna do, right? It's kind of trying to think of other vegetables that could maybe be grown in pots, like we were talking about last night, like peas and beans and maybe some tomatoes, some lettuce. Still drawing a blank, but there's got to be some stuff that would work to grow in pots and things. Oh, your husband's job closed down? I'm sorry. There's so many places around here that are closing as well. I mentioned earlier, my coworkers tried to go out run some errands at lunch, pick up lunch. I think they're trying to support local businesses to try to do like a takeout lunch, and so many places are closed. So in our state, we're not allowed to do what's called like a buffet line or anything like that. None of the hot lunches that are being served type of thing are not allowed unless it's being prepared by the restaurant staff. So we have what's called like buffet, where they put out a lot of food and you kind of go fill your plate, and that's not allowed anymore. So yeah, I'm sorry, Jess. I think we're all kind of feeling it, and it's going to be a long road ahead. I hope that our governments across the world are doing the right thing by mandatory closings of schools and businesses and kind of telling everybody to hunker down. Maybe we can kind of get through this a little bit quicker. I don't know, it's going to be an interesting thing to see. But a lot of discussions online. Oh man. So I'm on CNN, and if you go in their world report, it says, I don't like seeing this, virus devastates China's economy. It's going to devastate the world economy. So I hope that countries can kind of work together to bring the world through this. I'm kind of thinking that, trying to find ways to grow vegetables and things might be not the worst thing in the world. It's going to be a long road ahead of us here. This is a nice thing to see. Chinese billionaire Jack Ma donates masks, test kits to all countries in Africa. I think that's really quite nice. Africa is a pretty poor continent. So that's nice. Boy, I tell you, I have to like not look at that stuff. It's pretty crazy. Trying to figure out. There we go. My chat got stuck again. Come on. There it goes. Hopefully this is. You guys still see me? I don't know if I'm getting a little blip in my internet connection. I hope we're doing all right. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. My chat just finally refreshed. It kind of jumped and zipped through like 15 different, 20 different chat messages. So, Gamer Girl, I don't want to discuss politics. If you're going to keep doing that, we're going to boot you out of here. So, I don't want to talk about the American election in here. I think right now, it has to kind of be on the back burner. We need to get through this health crisis so that we can actually have an election and go from there. We are, like Jess said, we're humans first. We all live on the same pile of dirt. You know, we all live on this this pile of dirt that's flying through the universe, and it's going to be a long road. Hello, Islamic worshippers. Okay, thank you guys. Let me know you can hear me. I was a little concerned that my internet was failing, but I think I just had a little browser blip. I am out in the country, so I'm lucky to have any internet, to be honest with you. It's pretty difficult to get internet out here. We've been here for many, many years, and basically up until about the last year, we did not have good internet. So I feel very fortunate to have the internet connection I have. And I'm quite jealous of the people who live in the city that have high-speed internet, because we don't really have that here. I'm lucky to have what I have, I guess. So, Gamer Girl, can you hear me? Hey, Ganesh, welcome back, my friend. Nice to see you. Jess is here. Gamer Girl, you might have me muted. I'm just going to try to type. Or, you know, maybe she just doesn't want to hear me say I don't want to talk about American politics. I don't know, but I don't. Joe's Coins can't hear me either. Might have me muted. So some can hear me, and yeah, I know, Jess, we got some trolls. I've been trying to kick them out. I mean, reporting them and whatever. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have the greatest internet, so like trying to go through and click on all the right buttons in chat, it's a little sketchy. But I'm trying to be assuming that they don't have nefarious reasons for being in here until they reveal themselves. But hey, Taya, yeah, we're gonna, you know, bye-bye. Bye-bye. There they go. Hopefully. Yeah, look at all the comments. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, sorry guys. Like I said, it took a little bit to put that person in timeout. And then we're gonna go ahead and make them go away. Sorry you guys. Okay, that person is booted out. Oh, here we go. More of them. Look, we got another one in here. Bye-bye. I think they all find each other and they just think it's funny. I mean, really, wow, you know, I really have. There we go. Okay, hopefully they're, yeah, you know, I think there's bots and trolls that are out there looking for whatever. Hey, Jess, want to be a moderator? Anybody want to be a moderator? Anybody I know? You can help me if you got a faster speed connection than this, because I can only do what I can do. Bianca, hello. Poop. Yeah, Poop's gone. You have fast. That's awesome. Well, Bianca, do I know you? Okay, you boot root. Awesome, Jess. I'm going to make Jess my Kentucky friend. Let's see what that does for you, Mod. Woo! All right. I think I made you a moderator, Jess. So you have all the powers, or some sort of power. I don't know. I've never been able to do that. This is only my second live. Well, check that. I did do a 90-second live stream test a couple days ago. And that's when I realized that my really nice computer, which is my work computer, I can't get the microphone functioning on there. So I'm on this one, which is the microphone works, but the computer struggles a little bit. So hey, yeah, and you have a little tool next to your channel name, Jess. So no need to spam if you can't hear. Try refreshing your page, check that your volume is up and not muted. Thank you, Ganesh. I appreciate that so much. We'll call you Just True Blue. Hey, so Bianca, where are you located? We were discussing that earlier, kind of figuring out where in the world everybody is. Got a number of people in North America. We definitely have some who are in the greater European continent. Got one or two people from the Southern Hemisphere, New Zealand. Not sure if we still have our friends from the Philippines here. I think we do. Yeah, New Jersey. So Ganesh, I mentioned it earlier, but I'm bringing it up again. Did you see in the news that California, city of San Francisco is on lockdown now? Pretty major. In fact, I should see if I can find anything on the news about it. I saw it earlier, but I don't know if I got my other computer here. The really nice computer, but the one that has no functioning microphone on it. Go figure. Wow. It sounds like New York is getting kind of crazy too. One of the news articles says New York restaurant owners could be arrested for serving. Oh, geez. Yeah, San Francisco for 3 weeks. So I have a friend of mine who is in California. She's in Southern California, and I'm quite scared. I keep asking her to please get home before she can't get home. I gotta take a little water, guys. Look, I got my water bottle back. It's all full. I learned my lesson last night. I started to lose my voice at the end of the chat from talking all the time, but Canada is closing borders with a U.S. exception, so they must be tightening where you can cross the border into Canada. I think that's quite smart. Oh my gosh, Trump says virus measures could last into August. Well, I would assume that, or indefinitely at some point, depending on how this virus goes around the world. Maybe I don't want to look at that anymore. I know, I don't think I want to look at the news. So Gainesville has a curfew. So has Gainesville been hit hard, Ganesh, or are they just being very proactive? It's hard to tell. Like, I know San Francisco is get hit quite hard. So they're doing it because their emergency rooms are overwhelmed, their hospitals are overwhelmed. But I guess I haven't been able to everything that's going on, I haven't been able to keep track of all the major cities. Yeah. That's scary, Jess. I am worried for myself, but I'm not scared for myself. I feel fortunate. I'm definitely not a young person by any stretch. I'm not 18. I'm not in my 20s, but I'm also not considered elderly, although I call myself an old fart. But I think I'm fairly healthy. I am in moderately good weight. I am a runner. I try to run several times a week. I try to run, 5 miles when I go out and run. It's about an hour's run for me. It depends. A little slower in the winter when we're sliding around on the ice. We're starting to get a little bit quicker now that we're not running through snow and sliding around on ice. But I try to get in an hour's run a couple of times a week, just to kind of keep my heart healthy, to keep my vascular system healthy, to keep my body healthy. So I feel like my lungs are quite fit, my heart is quite fit, and I hope that if I contract this virus, that I will be able to fight through it on my own. But it does scare me. I know that when I was in college, we had a localized problem here called, oh, what was that called that I got? It was a bacteria that got in the water, and it killed a number of people. It wasn't like nothing like this, but it killed a couple hundred people. And it unfortunately invaded the college town where I was at, and I contracted it over the college break for the Christmas and New Year's holiday, and I got quite ill from it. Um, and I got through it, but it was a rough go. I spiked an incredibly high fever. Probably should have been hospitalized for the fever that I had, but my body, that's how my body fought off the infection, was to take my temperature up to this close to mortality. So I'm hoping that that didn't leave a lasting impact on my body, and that if I do get this virus, I can handle it. But I'm more scared for my friends and family who have underlying health issues, that this is a very big threat. So for you guys, I hope you're all taking, doing the best you can with it. Yes, Ganesh, there is no more handshaking, no more hugs, no more kisses. My parents, it's terrible. I kind of have to wave to them from a distance and talk to them on the phone. I do not like to interact with them because I am absolutely morbidly afraid that I could transmit this disease to them, because I am working and I am the one having to go out into the markets and purchase their food. So, hi, let's see who we got here. Natalia, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it so much. Peachy Nat, yes, I do remember. You have a new YouTube channel. Fun with Jeremiah, yes, you were here yesterday. Which video you're looking for? Yesterday's video is out there on my channel. YouTube does save all that. And I do have my little how to make hand sanitizer, although I'm sure a lot of people have those out on YouTube. But yeah, so I know, Ganesh, my brain is starting to get rattled from all the news. At some point, for our own mental well-being, you have to kind of break away from the news and take a deep breath and remember that I don't think the world is coming to an end just yet. I hope not. I think this is going to be a very ugly part of our history. I think this is going to be a very difficult time in history for the human race on this planet. But I hope that people remain civil and try to come together and get through this crisis together instead of fighting, because I don't think that fighting is going to do anybody any good at this point. We all have the same problem we're facing. We all are facing this virus. So I don't think anybody's really immune at this point. So, oh, you're trying to restart your channel. So, are you trying to restart your former channel, or are you starting a new channel? I'm curious, Natalia. Or is it Natalia? Am I saying it Natalia? That's probably the way to say it. Oh, yeah. So if you guys are wondering why Hanging with Jess is blue and has a little wrench, I made her a moderator because we had a whole bunch of jerks come in here and making rude comments, stirring stuff, being explicit and disgusting and rude. And so I have not the best internet, so I asked Jess if she would kind of help moderate. I appreciate it so much. And Jess, I don't know, as moderator, do you get any credit for this stream? I hope so. Would love that. I think that'd be great. Hey, Sylvan's Train Your Brain. Yeah, so anyway, so she's helping me moderate the comments to keep all the nasty people's comments and kick out people. I think we've kicked out at least 3 or 4 channels that were being icky, gross, horrible, nasty. or as we call them, jerks. So yeah, a lot of these people, oh, are they? Yeah. So they're trolls. They're trolls. I mean, you know, at some point they get reported enough, YouTube is going to block them. They will. They don't have a whole lot of tolerance for that. If you go in your creator studio, you'll see a pretty stark message from YouTube saying they're letting the algorithm take over and go crazy with deleting videos and booting people out. So that's how it has to go. Okay, well, I get it. The fresh start for 2020. So, what is your channel, your new channel, going to focus on? We have a lot of creators in here, and everybody. These are all my YouTube friends. Hey, Data is amazing. Thank you so much for joining in. I so appreciate this. Yeah, we all get trolls, and yeah, I don't know why people need to do that. I don't know why they get such amusement from it, but I guess people are people. What are you gonna do? You want to be a mod, Jeremiah? What do you guys think? Should we let Jeremiah be a moderator? Hey, Jess, you want to share your powers? What do you think, Jess? Help hand over part of your magic wand? Yeah, I mean, I kind of hope you guys, you know, I'm trying to not sound all doom and gloom. I really am trying not to. I just think that's so detrimental to our mental well-being here. You know, this is a pretty good group of people that I've gotten to know so many of these channel owners here. All right. Yeah, so Jeremiah, how old are you? You sure you know how to handle the power of being a moderator? It's quite powerful, right, Jess? How about you, Jess? Are you feeling like the queen of the universe? Yeah. Well, I think this is just a moderator right now in the chat for the live stream. Yeah. So Jeremiah, are you 11? Everybody's saying you're 11. I thought you were 14, but I was probably missing out on that. Last night we were kind of flying through all kinds of stuff. Nope. Okay. Oh, well, Jess, what do you think? Oh yeah, fourth grade. I remember fourth grade. I want to be in fourth grade. So, yeah, I missed fourth grade. I think you guys are learning things way quicker than I was learning them when I was fourth grade. It's amazing the technology and how it helps you guys learn stuff so much quicker. Video ideas. Well, what are your interests, Is it Natalia? You're 12, right? I remember sixth grade. So, Natalia, when I was in sixth grade, much to my parents' displeasure, I discovered horses. Yes, I did. And the rest is history. They are regretting it ever since. But that's the way it goes. All right. So, Jeremiah, don't let this go to your head. I'm going to let you be a moderator. Hope it doesn't go to your head. I appreciate your help. So, yeah. So, yeah, when I was in sixth grade, I was in what we call middle school. That's changed a little bit now, depending on what they're calling middle school. But we had an after-school program that took groups of us up to a area horse farm out in the country, and we learned all about horse care and learned how to ride. And my poor parents, they had no idea. I tortured them for years, begged, worked my butt off. I worked my butt off to save every penny I could make. I did any odd job I could find in the neighborhood that would pay me money. I was babysitting, mowing lawns, shoveling driveways and sidewalks in the wintertime. I was doing paper route, anything I could do to save up enough money that I could take riding lessons. Because, you know, my parents, we couldn't back then Oh, we really couldn't afford anything at that time. The economy at that time hadn't been doing very well. So I worked my tail off, and my poor parents, bless them, they were very accommodating to me as best they could. And so the rest is history. Yes, Jeremiah, you are blue. So don't make me take that away from you. Behave yourself. Well, Natalia, happy birthday 4 days ago. I am sorry that all this bad news is going on right now in your birthday month. It's not only your birthday month. I'll tell you, my husband's birthday is coming up too, and I feel kind of bad for him. It's going to not be a very good birthday for him. So, well, happy birthday to you. Oh, Ihor, I'm so glad you're still with us. I hope I'm providing you some form of entertainment since you're sequestered in Italy. But do you guys want to hear my horrifying story about how our farm got hit by a tornado? It's not really that, well, it's not that bad, but it wasn't a lot of fun to experience in the first person. I find a little more humor in it now that it's in my history, but I feel very fortunate. Yeah. Okay, so it's been at least 6 years ago. It was in the summertime. I'm trying to remember if it was I'm trying to forget it, but it was either in late June or in July. And I actually have to look at my phone to look at the pictures of the damage that we had. I actually have a photo album in here called Tornado, which isn't really all that funny, but so the pictures were, I think it was July. Yeah, it was early July. It was literally right around the 4th of July or in American Independence Day celebration time. And we were having a pretty good series of storms rolling through that evening. It was quite a few nasty storms were rolling through. And there was a report of a tornado in a city that is about an hour and a half to my southwest. It's a reasonably sized town. They have an extension of the university system here, so it's a college town. They had reports of tornado touchdowns there, and so it was getting to be quite late in the night. I was up watching the weather to kind of see what was going on because it was storming pretty good. And this line of intense storms was kind of headed towards us. And then there was a report, radar indicated tornado or funnel cloud of it ended up being a verified touchdown in a city that is basically just a 20-minute drive to my southwest. And of course, that had my attention. Was in the basement at the time, watching TV in the basement. I'm actually in the basement here. We have a TV over here. It's kind of like I actually have my work desk down here and then that type of stuff. But so I was kind of watching the TV, kind of chewing, biting my nails, and they discussed this tornado, and the meteorologists were tracking it on radar. And it was storming quite loud. I could hear it outside. It was, thundering, lightning. I could hear intense rain. But they were tracking that tornado. It was the same cell that had produced the tornado in the university town. It's about an hour and a half away. But they had said it had dissipated. Radar indicated it was gone. And they're like, okay, we'll see what kind of damage there is in that town, blah, blah, blah. So, good night, Natalia. Get some sleep. So yeah, John, it's Corona time. Yeah, we need more masks. Well, so, I decided to come up out of the basement and take a look out our front door. And as I did that, so we have kind of a mud room. Ganesh, we were talking yesterday about taking our shoes off and not wearing our shoes in the house and being, thank you, you guys, hanging with Jess. Thanks for taking care of that. We had a little troll in here again, but just as I came up out of the basement into our mudroom has a it has obviously the front door that has a window in it, and then it has a door that faces to compass direction south. And as I was looking out the south window, which actually overlooks our driveway, and there is we have what's called a yard light on a pole, and I'm on a farm, so it's pretty illuminated out there. I kind of looked out the window and I didn't understand what I was seeing because the world was kind of going by me like this. Everything was kind of flying by the window in a horizontal manner. The rain was horizontal. There was branches of trees going by horizontal. Nothing was coming down out of the sky. Everything was kind of flying past. And I had never seen anything like that. And I kind of stood and stared because I didn't really understand what I was seeing. And I kind of realized, oh, this is not normal. This is bad. And so I ran back in the basement, not really thinking that there was a tornado because they had ended the tornado warning. I was just thinking that we were getting what they often call straight line winds, and that we were just getting a lot of front line winds, and that it was just windy out. So 20 minutes later or so, the storm kind of had passed, and we got the flashlights out and went out to, this was at like midnight or 1 a.m. My local time. We went out and kind of looked at all the damage. And we realized we had a lot of trees that were damaged and down. We had some minor structural damage, but you really couldn't tell. It was the middle of the night. So we just looking at my news feed here. We knew we were going to have some problems, and it was a Sunday night actually. And so I knew I was supposed to go into work in the morning, and I got on my work email and said, I can't even get out of the driveway. We have an oak tree across our driveway. I'm not going to be able to be in. We had storm damage. So what we determined is that we were, our area got hit by a tornado. And it was, I think it was a 1.1 mile. It was a fairly short-lived tornado. I think they determined the path was maybe 1.5 miles, 1.1 to 1.5 miles. And what's this Lady Lake? That's in the Villages. Oh no, Ganesh. Okay, that's scary. Anyway, they determined that after the tornado that had hit the township, that was like about 20 minutes away, we ended up having a touchdown, like I said, just south of me and west of me. And the National Weather Service determined it was an EF1 tornado, and we were kind of the lifting point. It kind of went across our farm and then lifted. So I feel like we were very fortunate, the minor amount of damage that we had. But I realized after the fact that when I came up out of the basement and kind of like everything was flying by in this like horizontal manner and kind of lifting back up, that was actually the tornado. I like came up out of the basement in the middle of getting hit by the tornado. So I actually got to look out the window and look at being hit by a tornado. And I feel very fortunate that I survived it, that our house survived it with minimal damage. Because they had taken down our tornado warnings. We had no tornado warning anymore. They said it wasn't indicated on radar, and they were like, they called off the tornado warnings. I mean, we had no idea. So really, I feel pretty fortunate. I had a lot of damage, and it took most of the summer to clean it all up, and probably a full year to kind of recover from it. But we were very fortunate that it did the minimal damage that it did. It could have been a lot worse. So we had no major, we had some structure damage, and our neighbors had a little bit too, but nothing as bad as it could have been. So I feel pretty fortunate. Yeah, Ganesh, you're down there in hurricane. I know you're in Ocala and you're kind of the central part of the state, but you guys get spin-off tornadoes when the hurricanes come by or come through. You guys get some crazy weather. When I lived in Tampa, Oh my gosh. The weather on the Gulf side of Florida is really weird compared to the weather on the ocean side. Those Gulf storms that come in off the Gulf are scary. Very scary. Very electrical. The lightning is terrifying. They're just crazy weather down there. It's unreal. So you guys have some very unique weather down there in Florida. Yeah, hurricane parties. Yeah, we have winter storm parties where we all kind of hang out with each other and party on for winter blizzards and things. So yeah, we were hit by a confirmed tornado. So I feel very fortunate that we came through it. And the broader sense of the picture, we came through it pretty unscathed. It could have been horrible. So my horses were okay. Most of the structures on our property were okay. We lost a few shed type things, but it wasn't awful. So I don't really want to experience something like that again. The other tornado story as I had is we actually had an EF5 tornado come through 3/4 of a mile due south of where I live. I had just gone through storm spotter training by the National Weather Service and had been trained in how to correctly identify funnel clouds and tornadoes. And we knew we were having bad weather and we were just getting ready to go in the house. We kind of closed up everything on the farm. And I noticed the funnel and we got on the call to our local emergency response. And, you know, I went through my lingo. I'm a trained weather spotter. I am, you know, seeing a funnel cloud located, you know, X miles, you know, northwest of this or southeast of this, blah, 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 to kind of help them pinpoint it. And as we were on the telephone with the emergency response, I said, okay, now it's touchdown. We're seeing significant debris on the ground. And so, you know, we're kind of reporting it and then hightailing it in the house to get into the basement because we didn't know at that point which direction it was going. But that tornado that we called in developed into an EF5 tornado, and it obliterated part of a town that's just south and east of me, of where I live. It went through, killed a couple people, and it obliterated a big chunk of their town. So it really was a terrifying tornado. Scary stuff. So I get big respect for you guys down there who deal with hurricanes because Mother Nature is quite scary. So just checking to see what you guys are talking about. Yep, house. We had some minor damage. So we get our power off the distribution poles. So we got a power line that comes off of the power poles and a line that comes into the house. And we had so much tree damage that the trees ripped the power off the house. So we had to have an electrician come in and reinstall power into the house the following day. But we were really fortunate. We got up early when we realized the damage and the problems we had and the fact that we were going to be without power. We were up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and we're making emergency calls asking to get repairs out. We're far enough out in the country that we do not have natural gas access. So our heat, we have propane. So we have a propane tank, and I smelled propane early in the morning. We got our local cooperative to come out and repair the damage to the propane tank. So we didn't have any gas explosions or propane explosions. We were very fortunate. We got pretty quick responses from everybody to kind of help us out. Excuse me. And then I had we had some family members who lived, you know, a city away that took the day off of work and came and kind of helped us. We had like 4 chainsaws going, and I think it took us better part of a month to get rid of all the tree damage. But by the end of the day, you could actually get in and out of the driveway fairly well. So, yeah. So anyway. Yikes. Yeah, be careful with what you guys are typing. And so you guys be careful with what you're saying in chat, because like I said, YouTube has kind of unleashed the algorithm. And I think you know, if you're doing anything in chat that's deemed like suspicious, you could get a sit down. So just be careful about that. I keep bumping my athletic watch, and it keeps trying to think that I'm exercising. It's making weird noises. So looks like we still got 13 people in here. Again, looks like Ganesh, you're still in here. Jess and Jeremiah, you're in here. Who else is still in here? Hoping to see some. My chat's backed up, I think. You're new to the chat, be sure to subscribe. Yes, please. Really appreciate you guys. If you subscribe, I will, in the next 24 hours, make sure I revisit your channel as well and show you the same kindness and invite you into my family and join your family. I would very much appreciate that. Hey, Sophia. Definitely, you guys take a chance to connect with one another. Great people in here. Hey, Cyber Mustang TV. That's you're cleaning. Well, maybe that's my silver lining is if I end up being allowed to work from home, or if our government shuts down business in the big city that I work in, and I end up having to kind of hang out at home. I would love to start doing my spring cleaning a little early. So I like that idea, Cyber Mustang TV. So I actually started it about a week ago. Started doing some cleaning, but got a little distracted. So it's kind of nice to, although I don't know if I want to turn on the TV because I generally have all been watching the news and it's getting a little depressing. So I've got the TV off, and of course I've got on my other computer, I've got the news sitting right here. So Secretary of State of Ohio discusses primary. Yeah, so the state of Ohio in the United States tomorrow has a primary. So for it's a presidential primary for the Democratic Party. I think the governor was trying to delay that primary due to the coronavirus, but it went through the court systems, and the court system said that they couldn't delay it. So you know, they're trying to sort out ways to make it so that, you know, their citizens can vote, but safely. So hand sanitizer, you know, touch as little as you can and sanitize. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if anything else is going on. I'm not sure I really want to know. See what else is going on here. Refresh it. It's kind of sad. There's not going to be a whole lot of great stories in the news. Not a lot to look forward to. So we kind of have to search for happy news. Let's see. Yeah, not a lot of good information. The sad thing is, you know, we can't even go like watch movies, but we can certainly stream stuff. We can go on YouTube and watch each other's videos. I think that would be a really nice thing for us all to do. A lot of my friends here, we do that for each other. That's why you guys are so kind as to being here for me right now. But I would say, you know, when you get bored and you get sick and tired of being in your cooped up space, go ahead and find your friends on YouTube, and especially for small channel creators such as myself, fairly new to creating a channel. We're always looking to get assistance from YouTubers to watch our videos, to like our videos, to comment on our videos, and to kind of get us noticed by YouTube and the rest of the world. So if you guys maybe get a chance to do that, I think that's pretty sweet. Right, Jess and Ganesh and Sophia, Jeremiah. You guys all know as YouTube creators, this is a pretty rough game. I think my chat is stuck again. Oh, there it goes. Holy cow. Sorry, guys. My chat is kind of cycling. It's being really weird. I just got like 30 new messages. You guys have all been talking, and it finally updated. I think, Ganesh, are you saying with beards? I think that that's probably quite true because unfortunately, studies have been shown that men with beards, they often have a higher degree of fecal material in their beards. And yeah, you heard that right, fecal material. And that's just due to the fact that a lot of the men that I know that have beards are constantly kind of stroking their beards. And, you know, if you are not having the best sanitary qualities, you transfer, plus they get food in there, and you know, you're kind of breathing into your facial beard and your mustache and your, you know, from your nose and your around your mouth. And you know, this coronavirus being a respiratory infection, you know, they're saying all these droplets from your breathing or your mouth are going to be what's transmitting this virus. That virus is definitely going to land in your beard. So you know, unfortunately, I know a number of men have beards due to religious reasons, and I think that they just, if they can practice good hygiene with their beards every day, so be it. You know, they just have to take some extra precautions. We all are having to find ways to take extra precautions. So, but yeah, it is true. They've done studies where they've actually checked out men's beards, and men's beards tend to have quite a bit of bacteria in them. So, it is what it is. Oh, awesome! Thank you, Ganesh. I appreciate that so much. I can't. Like I said, my live chat's kind of jumping around a little bit here. I missed like half of what you guys were saying. I thought you guys were being very quiet because nothing was changing, and then like I had like 30 messages roll in. So I'm going to try to see what I'm missing here. Yeah, beards. I thought you meant beards. I was like, bread? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I hate beards. Yeah. Well, I'm not a fan either, but you horse here. Come on. The chat's telling me it's trying to update. Okay. Well, I think I caught up with what you guys have been saying for now. Have you, my two moderators, thank you guys for kind of keeping an eye on all the little naughty people. Have we had anybody in recently that's been misbehaving? I didn't see anything kind of flash off. Hopefully we've gotten rid of the troll bots. My favorite food? Oh man, you know, that's changed a lot. It's interesting. So we talked about this a little bit last night. I eat what's called a ketogenic diet. That is a diet, very low carbohydrates, and a high degree of natural fats or high percentage of fats, healthy natural fats, and then some, obviously a lot of vegetables. And then, so my main carbohydrates are from vegetables. And then some proteins, especially as I'm a runner, I have to be careful that I do eat protein, an adequate amount of protein to kind of support my muscles. But healthy fats I try to eat are things like I cook with coconut oil or I cook with olive oil. Avocados are great examples of a healthy fat, obviously olives, things like that. So I'm a dairy girl. I love my cheeses. So to answer your question, when you go on a ketogenic diet, everything is enhanced. Your sense of smell is enhanced and your sense of taste changes. Everything becomes sweeter. So I have a perfect example of that. When I used to eat fresh strawberries, they never tasted sweet enough for me. I would always dip them in a little bit of sugar to make them that little bit sweeter. Now eating a strawberry to me is so intensely sweet. Just a natural strawberry just is so intensely sweet. It's almost overwhelming for me. So yeah, so everything has changed. So as far as favorite foods, it changes quite a bit. I really lately have been enjoying making zucchini. I saute zucchini, I spiralize it or make it into what they call zoodles or zucchini noodles. And I saute it in olive oil and I add some delicious spices in. And once it's cooked to the way I like it, I mix it into a bowl and add some Asiago and Parmesan cheese in there, which makes it almost like an Italian almost like an Italian spaghetti, but I don't eat tomato. So I kind of been enjoying that, which is really kind of funny. Um, I wouldn't say that's a favorite food, but it's been kind of a go-to food that I've really been enjoying lately. I have to say, growing up, I think pizza was always my favorite, and I love pizza. I still love eating pizza, and it's really fun to get a cauliflower crust and make pizza because it's still delish. I do love anything cheese. Have you ever had Jeremiah? I'm not sure. I don't remember where you said you're at. Have you ever had fried cheese curds or fresh cheese curds? Does anybody know why cheese curds should squeak? Or have you ever had a cheese curd squeak? I have, because I'm a cheese connoisseur. Yeah, the ultimate moderator. So anyway, I like all things dairy. What can I say? What about you guys? Oh, that's Igor. It's nice to see you've done some blood donation. Hey, Connor, how you doing? Nice to see you're kind of back hanging here. Had wondered if you had left us while I was jibber jabbering. Yes, that's an official American saying, jibber jabber. Yeah, it's good to see you. Thank you, Connor, for being here. Aren't you like? Shouldn't you be getting ready for bed, Connor? Isn't it like super duper late? I remember when Jay-Z was in here last night, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. So at some point you got to sleep. Well, Jess, keto isn't for everybody, for sure. It's definitely something new, and it got a lot of negative press. And I have some pretty strong opinions on that, and I don't necessarily mean to start talking about that here. If you ever want to know, we can certainly get into a chit chat about it, but you know, it's not for everybody, but I've had a lot of friends who have seen how healthy that I've been on it. I have run 5 half marathons while being in ketosis and eating a ketogenic diet, and they used to say you couldn't do that. There would be no way you could do that, and I had no problem with it. So it's certainly something, a change you don't make 2 weeks before a race or something. But with the population in the United States becoming more and more obese, and so many more people being diagnosed with diabetes, I kind of made the decision to try to cut out a lot of sugar and carbohydrate from my daily routine. I still have a horrible sweet tooth. I absolutely love cupcakes and chocolate and cake and all things sweet like that, but I try to avoid that as much as I can. It's just not good for you. And did you guys know that sugar is the #1 most addictive substance on the planet? It is. So, sorry, just something flashed on my screen over here. I was trying to see if it was anything interesting. I think it's just the browser updating the page. But so, yeah, I don't know. I would definitely say talk to your doctor if you're concerned about it, or if you're really interested in it. If you have any underlying health issues, make sure that it's safe for you to go into a ketogenic diet. But I have a lot of friends who were borderline diabetics who were close to having to go on metformin to regulate their blood sugar, and they very carefully, under a doctor's watch, made the switch into a ketogenic lifestyle, and their blood sugar is completely under control. Their A1C, I think that's what it's called. Their blood sugar measures are normal now. Their weight is down, and they're probably have added years and years to their life by doing that. So, but you have to be very careful if you've got any kind of underlying health issues. You have to be so careful. If you are a diabetic, I don't know that you can just switch like that. I think you can end up in a life-threatening ketoacidosis situation. So, something to talk about with your healthcare provider for sure. Hopefully you won't be seeing your healthcare provider anytime soon. Hopefully we all stay away from this coronavirus. MOU Records, hello. Heads up, Jess, on that. Yeah. Sugar is, Ganesh, sugar is the #1 most addictive substance on the planet. It's crazy. So yeah, probably cocaine is probably the second one, right? They're both white powdery substances. Go figure. Honey, though, you know what, Ganesh? Honey has so many good, amazing medicinal qualities to it. Honey is outstanding. You know, you can put honey, you can use honey for so many medicinal purposes. And it's not just honey, like the honeybees are amazing. Their propolis, which is kind of part of their hive, and their propolis is incredibly good for you. A lot of people take propolis to help in their health. So I have just started doing some research on that, but honey is actually very good for you. So and it tastes good. So yeah, I drink tea. I love honey in my tea. I have to be careful now that I'm doing a ketogenic diet. I try not to sweeten my tea with anything, but yes, see, I'm not a coffee drinker, Jess. I've never been a fan of coffee. You know why? I think it's because I prefer chocolate. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't mind teas. To be honest with you, I drink a lot of water now. I don't know. I don't mind, especially in wintertime, a nice hot flavored tea. We've got some at work that are offered that we can drink, that are employer purchases. We've got like, there's a mango passion fruit one that is yummy. And then there's like an apple cinnamon one that smells amazing. But we've got all different types of non-caffeine teas. So see, Jess, I wish I was not big on chocolate. I just love sweets. It's crazy. I'm checking to see all kinds of stuff flashing in on my. I've got a coworker who's pretty stressed out. She's scared. She's pretty scared about this virus. It's kind of scary. Oh, cheesecake. Oh, yes. Love it. So delicious. Oh, so delicious. I'm with you on the cheesecake. A sleep tea, like a warm chamomile. I can see that. So, oh, so this makes me sad, you guys. So my friend, so she's getting married, and her bridal shower was supposed to be next weekend on Saturday, and obviously due to the coronavirus and our local restrictions that are being placed on it, she had to cancel her bridal shower. But unfortunately, her wedding was coming up in May, and they are having to cancel and reschedule their wedding, and that just makes me so sad. I'm glad that she was able to find a date. Gosh, that just makes me so sad, though, that they're having to delay such a happy event in life. That just, I mean, I'm glad she found a date and they were able to reschedule it. Now it's going to be in the fall, so I'm happy for her for that. But you know, weddings are pretty expensive to plan and to afford. So this makes me sad, happy and sad at the same time. Mostly a little sad. She's having to delay their future together. So, you know, that's a lot of people right now who have. You think about spring weddings are so popular, spring and summer weddings, and anybody who has a April, May, even maybe a June wedding is nervous right now. I have another friend. Her wedding is in the end of June, and we're a little bit on pins and needles right now, hoping that we can kind of get through this and that she can still have her wedding. So there could be two of my friends could be rescheduling. One of them just reschedule, and I'm hoping the other one won't have to. That's quite sad. That crazy, kind of crazy. It is a big moment. You know, it's a family coming together to make a new family. Two families coming together to make a new family, and you know, they've been looking forward to this and planning this for a long time, and it's got to be a really big disappointment to something completely you have zero control over to really, you know, impede your plans. So that kind of makes me sad. I was just gonna see if there was anything else of interest on the news. It's kind of depressing. You can't even look at like Hollywood news because like the entertainment industry is like completely shut down. You know, all they do is they're talking about stuff going on with coronavirus. You know, if you think about all the even the musical concerts, I have a lot of friends that have wanted to attend a number of musical concerts. Kind of the concert season is kicking off because we're getting into spring and no concerts. That's kind of sad. But this is a nice, it says Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson are released from the hospital. They both tested positive for coronavirus. So it sounds like they are on the mend. This is really sad. Idris Elba, he says he is positive for coronavirus. So I hope he does okay and comes through it okay. Yeah, well, that's really sad. There's another Game of Thrones actor who says he's tested positive. I don't know. So lots of sad news followed with a little bit of good news. It's nice to hear that Tom Hanks and his wife are doing better. Hi, Priya. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us. Got a bit of a group here. We've been chatting for almost 2 hours tonight now. Well, Ihor, I hope you can, you know, photograph the wedding that you're talking about in June. Hopefully this will be coming to an end, if not already ended. I don't know, you know, I wish I had a crystal ball and could predict our future and say when this pandemic would slow down. There's no way to know. No one can control Mother Nature. We certainly, I don't know. Hope, pray, remember that everybody on this earth is in this together. Maybe try to stop the bad behavior that we all have towards each other and think positively and think about maybe trying to get the human race through this instead of worrying about who likes this and who likes that and who wants this and who wants that. So, well, so the story with Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson is Tom was actually filming a movie down in Australia when I can't remember if he said he became symptomatic. I think they said someone on the set in the movie tested positive. And so Australian government had already been issuing tests to anyone who needed it. And I believe that's when Tom and his wife, Tom tested, he tested positive for it. His wife started showing symptoms. She tested positive as well. So they were actually not in the United States. They were down in Australia, and the Australian government, being a greater part of the UK, basically, has a little bit smarter brain in their government than we had, and they were a little more proactive. So they had more tests available than we have. We were offered, the United States was offered test kits by World Health Organization, and the President of the United States said we didn't need them. So now we're scrambling. We don't have enough test kits. So that's about as political as you're going to hear from me. I'm a little grumpy about that, but oh, Jess, you don't have any test kits in Kentucky. Oh, we don't have a lot where I'm at either, but we have some. So, I mean, they're not testing a lot of people. If we think about how many people are in my state, I mean, I don't even think they can say they've even tested 1%. I think it's like 0.1% of the population of my state has been tested. It's just not, it's embarrassing, really. And our government should be embarrassed. It's shameful how bad this has been and how they've handled it. So yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, I think they've tested. Let me see if I can find the information. Hang on a sec. Some of our local news pages are kind of keeping us up to date on this. Okay, our Department of Health. We have less than 50 active cases. So our state, but that's only because we have such limited testing. I'm going to see if it'll tell me how many people they've tested in our state. So we have only tested 504 people in my state. That's nothing. So if you look at the numbers, if we have less than 50, we'll say almost 50. So if we've tested 500 people and we have 50 positive cases, that's 10%. So if you extrapolate, that's 10% of the population of my state who probably have coronavirus. That is why we need to not be going to work. We need to be socially distancing ourselves. I mean, that's frightening. That's 1 in 10 people. I work in an office with over 100 people. That means 10 people in my office have coronavirus and probably don't know it. So that's the sobering thought that kind of makes you say, yeah, I'd rather stay home from work. That's not good. We see what else they've got. Oh, gatherings of over 50 people have been banned statewide in my state. They are recommending, as the CDC, the National CDC is, keeping gatherings of people to under 10. I don't even think I want to be around anybody now. Let me see if there's anything else that they got in here. Oh boy. Yeah, that's kind of really, that's not good. Yeah, you can be asymptomatic. There are a lot of very, very healthy people who will contract the virus and maybe not show hardly any symptoms. They're able to fight it off. They get such a mild case. That's not always, I think a lot of young people misunderstood. We're given a lot of bad information by our government and our press that this virus only was going to injure old people. I think our Italian friend, are you on here? Or are you sleeping? Igor, are you on here? News out of Italy is they're seeing fatalities among a lot of young people, teenagers, people in their early 20s are succumbing to this illness. So it affects everyone, mainly obviously those who maybe have underlying health concerns. But, as this pandemic started in China, several doctors, young doctors, died from this, and doctors generally keep themselves fairly healthy. So, I don't know that I've heard why those doctors died, other than the fact that they were probably being continually exposed to the virus. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. It's just speculation. But, like I said, I feel like I'm fairly healthy, but that doesn't mean I'm not concerned. I don't want this virus. I don't want to have to put my body through trying to fend off this virus and heal from this virus. Because I don't want to end up violently ill and potentially dying. So, Priya, it's actually affecting a lot of people. It's really affecting, Priya, anyone who has an underlying health condition. For sure, what you're saying, people 60 or older, most people, when you start hitting into your late 50s, early 60s, you do start developing underlying health issues. Here in the United States, we have a population of very unhealthy, obese people. So a lot of people are becoming diabetics when they're older. Diabetes predisposes you to circulatory problems, which stresses your heart. It clearly stresses your kidneys when you're no longer able to produce insulin and your body is under that kind of extreme constant duress. But if you think about it, there's people in our United States that have childhood diabetes. There are people who are maybe for some reason have undergone a organ transplant. There are people who are being treated for other diseases such as multiple sclerosis, any kind of disease that attacks the body. There are people who are undergoing cancer treatments, and cancer treatments make you incredibly susceptible to secondary infections and other diseases. If you are undergoing a cancer treatment, even when the rest of the population is quite healthy, you generally have to avoid people so that you don't even catch a common cold. And she won't even go see her doctors right now. It's just too dangerous for her to leave her house. So this is a very terrifying time for her, because not only is she fighting for her life for having cancer, but if she leaves her home, she could end up contracting this virus, and it would kill her. She has almost no immune system, so it's pretty scary. So it's kind of crazy. It's pretty scary. There's definitely been reports out of less kids for sure, Ehor, but we have heard about some kids are so generally healthy. My friend and I, who's a doctor, were talking about, kids are dirty, and they should be. They should be out playing outside and rolling around in the dirt and playing, climbing trees and riding their bikes and going out and running around and playing soccer or football or baseball, or just generally being outside and kind of getting hot and sweaty and dirty and being out and doing things. And that's how you get a healthy immune system, is constantly kind of exposing yourself when you're a healthy young kid. So kids are pretty resilient to this unless they have an underlying health issue. So you're right, Priya. I mean, for sure, most of the deaths are the elderly. It's because they have underlying health issues. As I've mentioned, you may not have been on the chat when I started this, but I am the primary caregiver for my parents, who are elderly, and both of them have underlying health issues. And so we have them kind of sequestered in their home, and I am bringing them food as needed. And I am taking extreme precautions to not really interact with them, since I am interacting. I still go to work, and obviously going to the supermarket to purchase their food, my food. So, for sure, when you get older, unfortunately, as our bodies start to age, we develop these underlying health issues. So, if you're younger right now, this is really a wake-up call to try to live a healthy lifestyle and to make sure you stay as healthy as you can, as long as you can. This is unfortunately a sad example of things that can happen as you age in life. Yeah, it's just not good. So, yeah, national emergency for sure. Yeah, Jeremiah, it's scary. I mean, you're probably young enough. If you're healthy, hopefully if you do contract the virus, you'll get through it just fine. That's all we can hope for. But, I see the younger generation, and I don't want to sound Ganesh. I don't want to sound like a jerk. So, but I see a lot of people that are, gamers, that are, I mean, look at us. A lot of us are YouTube creators. We're sitting here in front of a computer all the time, but make sure you find a way to maybe not right now, but when we're past this pandemic and you can kind of go out in the world, but make sure you get a chance to go out and enjoy the world, get outside, get a little exercise, find a way to keep yourself healthy, you know, eat healthy. Doesn't mean you can't have the delicious things in life, but everything in moderation. And try to find a way to get some fresh air, maybe a little bit of sunlight, not too much. If you watch my channel, I'm a pretty hardcore proponent of using sunscreen because skin cancer is terrifying. But I guess this is a wake-up call for maybe humanity to live a more healthy lifestyle. I don't know. Okay, thank you, Ganesh. I when I was in high school and college, I was pretty much addicted to my game of choice was the original Nintendo Super Mario Brothers. It probably dates me to being kind of an old fart, which I am. But my friends and I would play Super Mario Brothers all night, like till like 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we were just crazy. So I definitely had my days of being a gamer, for sure. So that's good. Right? I mean, maybe now it's not a bad thing to be a gamer because you're not like feeling the need to go out and interact with anybody. You can interact like we're doing here. Oh, I loved the old Nintendo. My friend actually, she's there. It was her family that had the Nintendo. They still have it. And I'm like, oh, we need to break out the Nintendo, hook it up to a TV and just be like, yeah. I wonder if I even remember all the little secrets. Boy, learning all the little secrets to get up the levels, where all the little hidey holes were to get like hidden coins. Always like discuss and we'd find cheats and we'd be like, hey, did you know on level so-and-so, and you go like down this tube and over here, if you jump up on here, there's a hidden place to get coins. It was like, oh, okay. So that was kind of fun. Yeah. Yeah, the good old days. Now it's amazing. I mean, and the graphics were terrible. The graphics were absolutely horrible compared to the cool stuff that's out there now on gaming. I love watching some of you guys' gaming videos. I'm like, man, this is cool. You know, we didn't have digital back in the day for sure, but Double Dragon, Freddy Cougar, oh, the memories. Yeah. You mean Dungeons and Dragons? Do you mean Dungeons and Dragons or Double Dragon? Because I think Dungeons and Dragons is still kind of a thing. Oh, we go out clubbing. If we'd go out clubbing, dancing to music and things, and we'd go after the clubs would shut down, we would always be so hungry from dancing all night. We would go to one of those local 24-hour restaurants that were open like 24/7, and we'd always go get some food. And there was always this table of guys who had the Dungeons and Dragons board game, and they would spend every Saturday night, they would spend like 8 hours at this restaurant. The restaurant knew them. They'd constantly be ordering food, and so they like tucked them in the back of the restaurant, and these guys would play D&D like for like 8 hours. They were crazy. It was hilarious. So Double Dragon. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a typo. I've never played Double Dragon. It was on Nintendo. So, hey Ganesh, have you ever heard of Atari? Did you ever hear of the platform Atari, the gaming platform? Jess. Yes, Ganesh, it was Denny's. Oh my God. How did you know it was Denny's? I had to figure it was Denny's. Denny's is always the one that's open, right? So when I was a kid, the very first gaming platform when I was a kid was Atari. And the very first computers that were available to the public was the Commodore 64. That is how old I am. Yeah. Ganesh, you're young. I would love to be 31 again. Yeah, Atari. I don't even know if you could find them. I thought we actually had our old Atari for like the longest time, and now we can't find it. And I'm like, that thing would probably be worth a lot of money now. But the games that we played, the first games that Atari had were Pong, which was ping pong, and it was bad. Asteroids. those were like the first two, and then more games came along. They had like Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man, but I remember Pong and Asteroids being like the first gaming games you could get. I was a little kid, and I was like, it was fascinating. So yeah, handing out free eyes. He plays me on Super Smash Bros. Oh, gamers. Jess, you guys are so young. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Wish I was that young. I'm an old fart. So Jess, note to the wise. Sunscreen, my dear. Avoid the crow's feet. Keep the sunscreen and the hats on. Keep the hats on to keep the sun off your face as best you can, and lots of sunscreen, because the sun, man, not good for you. And you're farther south than I am, so you got to really watch it. But I'll stop preaching about sunscreen. But when I was a kid, we never wore sunscreen, and now everybody in my generation and older is getting skin cancer, so it's a little scary. 1988. Really? Oh, wow. I don't even want to comment on that year because it will date me. But I remember 1988. Where Jeremiah's like, 1900s? Yes, the 1900s. The 80s. Hey, good rock music out of the 80s. It was pretty good rock music. Not quite as awesome as the 60s and 70s classic rock, but pretty amazing rock out of the 80s. So I'll go with that for music. Hey, I liked my hard rock in the 80s. Scorpions, AC/DC, Def Leppard, everybody that wanted to be Led Zeppelin, right? Because Led Zeppelin was, who you wanted to be. But tons and tons of Rat, yeah, all those guys. Yeah, I did too. But you know what? My parents didn't listen to that. Their classic rock my parents listened to was like the Eagles. More like 70s soft music, kind of what I would call oldies now. Let's see, who was popular in the 70s, who that they made me listen to as I was a kid. Like the Eagles was good. Neil Diamond. Man, he's an old fart. The Carpenters, Carly Simon, James Taylor. I'm struggling for names here. I really gotta scratch off some brain cells. You know who I loved? And he's been dead for probably almost 25 years. John Denver. He was a country artist. Loved him. He was an Air Force brat, traveled all over the United States. His father was an Air Force pilot, which is how he became a pilot. But he ended up being one of the top country artists of the 70s. I loved his music. I still do. Still makes me sad. I remember when I learned about his death, so that was kind of sad. But my parents made us listen to, I remember on trips, we were always listening to the Eagles. I love the Eagles. They have great music. Don Henley, amazing. Those guys, so many of them became amazing solo artists. My generation was listening to things like Def Leppard, AC/DC, Kiss, Journey, original Journey, Steve Perry Journey, things like that. So, Def Leppard, great UK band. Those guys are still rocking it. Man, they're good. Jeremiah, I sometimes listen to new music. I've got Adele, my favorite Brit Adele is on my playlist. I have a whole ton of Taylor Swift. on my in my phone on my playlist. So I listen to a mix. It kind of depends on what style of music it is. It's interesting. Taylor Swift started off as a country artist, and now she's a pop icon. Here, let me look on my. You guys are gonna laugh at me. Let me listen to, or let me look at. Oops, that's not music. That's pictures. Wrong buttons. So we'll go with artists. I have a very strange collection of music. You guys, 10,000 Maniacs was a totally amazing band back in the 80s or 90s, probably 90s. 38 Special, another hard rock band from the 80s. I've got some rap on. Oh, I know. I also grew up listening to like the Bee Gees and ABBA because my parents, that was like their generation. I love that now I'm actually hearing the Bee Gees again on the radio because that music just makes me smile, and I need things to make me smile right now. I got me some Adele. I got some Adam Lambert. Oh, Aerosmith is another one that I grew up listening to. Got me some 90s Backstreet Boys. Got some Bee Gees. Oh, Billy Idol, Billy Joel. Those were all 80s. Bon Jovi. Here's another Brit for my friends in the UK. Bonnie Tyler. Of course, we have Bruce Springsteen in the E Street Band. I've got, another very big band in the 80s was Chicago. Got some on there. I've got my rap guys on here. I've got some Coolio on here. Dave Matthews Band. That's another one. Def Leppard. Country. I like the Dixie Chicks. They're pretty good. Don Henley, like I said, the Eagles. Got me some more rap. Dr. Dre. Ed Sheeran. I like Ed Sheeran. Another Brit. Ellie King, Ellie Goulding, another Brit. Elton John. A lot of British music. I love me my rapper Eminem. He's pretty amazing. He's an old fart like me now, but he still can rap amazing. Fleetwood Mac. My parents introduced me to Fleetwood Mac when I was a little kid. I still love them. They're amazing. Another British band. Love me some Green Day. I grew up, so Green Day was more my generation. I like Imagine Dragons. They're pretty new. John Mellencamp, he's an old guy. I love his music. Jimi Hendrix, rest his soul. Katy Perry, love me some Katy Perry. Tell you some great music. Linkin Park, that was my generation. They're really good. Maroon 5, got them on here. Hey, I love Michael Jackson. Got all kinds of Michael Jackson on here. Anyway, Prince. I loved Prince. Oh, I cried for days when Prince passed away. That was really sad. Jackal. I don't know Jackal. Oh yeah, Jack and I. Okay, so I have a funny story. Another funny story. My gal pal who I do a lot of running with. And she and her husband and their family bought a new house. They bought a pink house. Like, do you guys know what Pepto-Bismol looks like? That kind of Pepto-Bismol pink. Their house is like Pepto-Bismol pink. Not quite this color pink, but pretty close. Yeah, so we always call it the pink house. And they didn't paint it that color. The former owner who they bought it from, and they actually thought it was pretty funny. They left it that color pink. We call it the pink house. So I was actually driving over we were going to go running last Friday, and I actually agreed to meet her at her house. And as I'm driving, I'm like 2 miles away. John Mellencamp comes on, and it's the pink houses. I was like laughing for like 5 minutes in the car because I was like, it's the Little Pink Houses song, and I'm driving to the pink house. So, yeah, Mellencamp's got some great tunes. Yeah. All right, Ganesh, you got to get rolling. All right, get on kill some players in the game. Thank you so much for coming back, Ganesh, for the second night. You guys are great. I really appreciate you. We're kind of at the same time frame we were at yesterday, 2.5 hours, so it is getting late. Don't know where you guys are all at as far as wanting to stay on. Looks like we still have 9 people on. In my chat is, here we go. It just jumped again. It was a little bit behind. So have a good night, Ganesh. Thank you so much. Stay safe, my friend. Stay healthy. You know, that's all we can hope for, right? So what about you, Jess? You're in Kentucky, so it's getting late for you. A 3D stream. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I'd like to know how to do that. That's pretty sweet. How do you do a 3D stream? Educate me. I'm an old person. I have no idea how you do a 3D stream. You have to educate me. I'm a little bit new to this. This is only my, well, technically my 3rd live stream, but like I said, I did like a 90-second one to see whether or not my other computer would work, and it didn't. So no, I know, for tomorrow. Oh, you mean a 3rd? Sorry, another stream. I could do another one. It would be kind of fun. I would love it if we could, if you guys want to do one, I'd love to come back kind of around the same time and do another stream. That would be, he meant 3rd. He meant 3rd, like 1, 2, 3. This is our 2nd one. Do a 3rd. I thought you meant like 3D. I'm like, ooh. Color me tired. It's getting late, but yeah, I definitely, if I can swing it, I will go ahead and create the link and try to at least announce it, you know, at least a half an hour. You know, my problem is, like I said, you guys, working full time, I do have farm chores to get in, to get done. And so sometimes I get in and it's like I'm trying to eat dinner and then let you guys know that I'm on a live stream. That's kind of how this week has been, but I would love to keep doing this. It's been a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm kind of just hoping that YouTube kind of like, hello, YouTube, wake up. Like, I'm over my 4K hours. Can you like recognize that? And maybe let me know that it's time to monetize. Actually, let me look at my analytics. You know, you can get your instantaneous 48-hour analytics on here. Let me see what it's saying for live lifetime 365. So yeah, it says I'm over 250,000. I'm approaching 251,000. So we just keep doing this until maybe YouTube really is awake and knows my channel is here, right? I know it is a waiting game, and it's torture. It's not fair. I thought I was gonna like get the happy email 2 weeks ago. This has been like a long 2 weeks, and I was, you know, I did that live stream last night, and I was like, maybe YouTube will bump me over my hours. They gave me 5 hours in 24 hours. I was online last night for 2.5 hours on live stream with like 9, 10, 12 people in live stream. Now they weren't on it for the full, not everybody was on it for the full 2.5 hours, but my other videos were being watched. I know I got more than 5 hours. So, like I said, maybe it's just due to the fact that so many employees are working from home and things are a little behind. Maybe there's some buttons that need to be pushed down there in YouTube land. I don't know. You reached 271,000. Well, I don't even mean like getting approved, because I don't know when you were able to go through monetization, but kind of last fall, Cyber Mustang, when they started, remember when all the changes started coming to the creators? You know, the whole made for kids thing popped up, and they started changing the creator studio, and they, you know, they were kind of phasing out the classic studio and bringing in the new one. They started changing. It used to be you could apply, you could kind of go through all your paperwork for AdSense and get that all done ahead of time, and then all you had to do was wait for your 4,000 hours and your 1,000 subscribers. Well, they took that all away, so I literally have to do all that yet. I don't have a website. I don't have a website where I can actually start my AdSense account. So I have to wait for my YouTube account to qualify. So I have to go through all that. I have to do all that application. I have to link the bank account. I got to do all that. So I'm just waiting for the letter that says I can start my paperwork, because I know that takes a while. So yeah. Well, Jeremiah, the thing is, tonight was probably a perfect example of why YouTube has made for kids. We had a lot of really just jerks that came into the chat, that came into the live stream and started posting a lot of really nasty stuff. That's a perfect example. Is there are people out there that are, for lack of a better word, and to not use a nasty word, they're just jerks, and they are out there to do gross things, say gross things, make gross videos, lure children in to, they're basically predators. And while it definitely has made YouTube creators' lives more difficult, again, trying to be the cheerleader of looking for the greater good, I'm okay with it now, because it's just, there's so much out there. There are so many bad people out there that are trying to do bad things for our children, that I think we have to do what we can to protect our children. And kids are exposed to so much on, just due to the internet, Snapchat. There are so many predators on Snapchat. It's just gross. It's scary. It's terrifying. My friends who have children, I'm trying to remind them, keep an eye on your kids. There are so many people out there that are posing as teenagers, and they're not. They're looking to abduct children, to bring them into the, the sexual trade. It's horrible. So it took me a while. I was pretty uptight about it when YouTube announced it, but once I kind of grasped the greater meanings of it, I realized that they're just trying to keep kids safe from things that they should not be exposed to. So I kind of got with it, and I'm okay with it. I realized if you had a channel that maybe was wrapped around kids, that it's made life a little bit more challenging, but it is what it is. My chat is actually working right now, so I'm trying to read things. You sent puppies? Puppies? Are you guys exchanging bananas? What was the word you guys were using earlier? Yeah, not the S word. Drop some fruit, right? For a while there was bananas. I'm trying to remember what you said at the beginning of the, Jess, what did you say? Puppies? Is that what you're using? We were talking about giving bananas for a while there. Yeah. We have to be careful. YouTube algorithm likes to look for certain words, and if you use certain words too much, you get labeled a spammer. So if you are becoming friends with each other, each other's channels are becoming friendly and getting to know each other, wink, wink, nod, nod, the S word. If they see that a lot in chat, they will, behind the scenes, mark your channel with a little check mark in the old "you're a spammer" box. So, and they will unfriend you, using a Facebook term there. So we're becoming YouTube friends, right? Uh-oh. Yes, please. Can you delete or retract your message? Get rid of the super special word, please. We just find different ways of referring to it. Like, I could say, hey, Jess, it's great to meet you and know you. You have an amazing channel. I'm going to send you a banana. And yeah, right? Or Jess is sending puppies. Or a lot of people refer to it as hugs. I think hugs have been used a little bit too much. I think YouTube is on to the whole, I'm sending you a hug. So I don't think hugs is. I think bananas are better than hugs, but bananas are pretty weird. So what's the current trend? The people, you got to get away from the hugs, and you can't use the S word. You can kind of try to use the whole becoming Facebook friends on YouTube, but I think that's probably a bad idea as well. I know, you just use some kind of common words, and yeah, send some puppies. Send him some puppies. Yeah, for sure. So did you go ahead and retract your one comment there, Jeremiah? 3 stars and a sun. ... Yeah, exactly. It's how to get around the YouTube algorithm and not get marked as a spammer when you are trying to pick up friends and give your friends fruit. Oh, Billy Ray Cyrus. I'm sorry, I had to scroll back. That's like Miley's dad. And actually, I remember when Billy Ray Cyrus came out, I was really pretty young then. He had the most god-awful mullet. And that thing was long, but it was such the rage. That's funny. Yeah, so Jeremiah, yeah, I mean, these are all things that we learn, right? So Jeremiah, when you are making friends on YouTube and you want to stay friends, it is best to if you're gonna like watch, say you want to learn about making hand sanitizer as we become friends. It's best to watch several minutes and learn a little bit more about making hand sanitizer. Take some time to learn about hand sanitizer before you give me a banana. And let me know how much you enjoy the hand sanitizer video. Let maybe ask me a question about it, and then we can become friends. If you don't do that and you just try to become friends too quickly, yeah, that doesn't fly with the old YouTube, and it doesn't. I call it sticking. It doesn't stick. YouTube will unfriend you. It'll be like the Facebook unfriending, but YouTube will do it automatically, and they mark your channel for spamming. So you have to be kind to your new friends and take some time to get to know them, aka watch some videos. So, which if you're trying to monetize, such as a number of us, Cyber Mustang TV, he's already monetized. Jess, we're trying to monetize. We need people to watch our videos, and we want our subscribers to be interested in our channel and to watch our videos. So it doesn't help us if you watch 5 seconds and hit subscribe and then pop off of our video, because it hasn't given us any watch minutes, and you don't actually stay a friend. You become unfriended. So that's a little bit of detail. So it's always nice to be kind to your friends, and help them out. Check out their channel, spend a little time on their channel, ask, and hopefully they will. If you have good friends, these are my good friends who are in the chat room. All these people tonight have been really amazing friends, and they are contributing to me getting my watch time, and contributing to my channel getting a little bit higher ranked on YouTube. So these are all kind of fun things, right, guys? Do we have any other? Yeah, not friends. Yeah, you become puppies. Hey, you know what? We become part of the pack, right? Dogs are pack animals, and they're like wolves, and so we are adding members to our pack, right? Giving puppies and doggies and becoming pack members. Yeah, if you're not careful, Grandpa will kick you. I love that. That's an awesome analogy, Cyber Mustang. So remember, when you start accumulating more puppies and pack members, to treat your pack members with some kindness and spend some time with your pack members in their pack dens, in their dens. I think wolves have dens, right? So Jess, you had a mullet. Wait, what? Wait, I think we kind of all did. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Mullets are going to make a comeback because, everything recycles. Okay, so not only do people have mullets, but remember guys had like, they called it a tail. Like they would grow like, they'd get like, I don't know, 100 hairs, and they would grow this like really long tail. It looked like a rat tail, and then they'd braid it. Oh my God. Why would you do that? Oh, that just brings me into like all the old fashioned faux pas that we made back in the day. God, the 80s were so embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as the 70s, but the 70s has kind of morphed back around and being kind of cool. The disco clothes are kind of fun again because they were embarrassing for a long time. Hey Jess, did you ever go through a 70s phase where you had to have bell bottoms? Because the 70s came back around and kind of flashed back through. It was a very quick flashback through the fashion industry. But I remember they brought back bell bottoms, and I just was like, oh no, they're so ugly. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I think it was like late 80s, early 90s, and neon was like the thing. You had to buy and wear neon clothing. And I mean like highlighter neon, like bright pink, highlighter pink, like highlighter yellow, highlighter green, like the most obnoxious, blinding neon pastel colors you could buy was like all the rage. And I think that was like for a year, maybe two. God, it was so ugly. That had been like the late 80s or something. Parachute pants and neon colors. It was embarrassing. I know, right? Your mom loved it. Oh my God. I remember it. I remember like all the videos when the music videos of the 80s, they had like the mullets and like the big hair. Remember when the ladies' hair was like huge? All the rock stars' hair, like the guys' hair would be like out. They had long hair and it was like huge. Yeah, your parents were children of the 60s. So they grew up in the 70s and were very well aware of everything going on in the 80s. I'm not that old. But yeah, if you ever want to look at something funny, boy, I tell you what, go Google images of big hair. And it's pictures of people in the 80s. It's like out to here, high school photos of like girls with their bangs that were like up to here, sprayed with all their Aquanet hairspray, and then like teased out to like, man, those were the days. So ugly. Yeah, hairspray for everyone. Yeah. Aquanet was like apparently the best hairspray to like make your hair crispy and huge. Hey, Ali. Hello, hello. We are approaching. I have to tell you guys that I probably am going to can this down in about just under 20 minutes because it's getting quite late here. Jess, you guys on the East Coast, I'm really impressed that you're still hanging with me. I would be shocked if Connor's still in here because Connor, you should be sleeping. Maybe he is. I appreciate it if he's still got his stream going and he's sleeping, but oh, okay. I try not to curse. And we're trying not to talk about anything too scary. We're actually talking about ugly hairstyles from the 1980s and ugly clothing. Like we were talking about the parachute pants of the 80s and the neon clothing of the 80s. Let's see, was it the 60s or the 70s that had bell-bottom pants? The disco stuff, I think that was like 70s. Remember the collars, the disco shirt collars that were like, the collars were like super big collars. And then John Travolta, when he did his movies that he became so famous for, was it Staying Alive? Anyway, I can't remember. Yeah, right. Yeah, Connor. These code names. I know, Connor. What do you think, Connor? Wolfpack, right? wolf pups and wolf pack and join the pack. I don't know. The whole banana thing had me laughing for like when people were talking about giving bananas out. I was like, what? But some people in Walmart, you vaccinate your kid so they get their. No, that's not true. That's not true. You know, I think they're trying to develop a vaccine to get rid of the coronavirus, but it's not how you get it. That's unfortunately some misinformation that's been being circulated. Kids should have, the thing is most kids are coming through this. We were talking about it earlier. Most kids are so healthy that it's not, this coronavirus isn't doing too much to the children. It's anybody who has an underlying health problem, which is generally the elderly, but not always. But yeah. Connor, shouldn't you be sleeping? Are you pulling an all-nighter, Connor? You're a night owl. I remember when we were on a live stream with Armand, and you're like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm still on the live stream, and I'm going, are you out of your mind? You're like, I haven't been asleep yet. Oh, it's pretty funny. Yes, please. I want to get away from the whole to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. Thank you. Let's just not go down that road. Yeah. But I'd my mic name. JC, just because I'd my, I don't know what that means. Connor's like, you the cyborg vampire. Hey, you know what? When I was younger, well, we were talking about gaming earlier with Ganesh, when I was actually had my gaming life. We would be up all night gaming. I was like up all night, sleep all day, just like the rock song. Wouldn't get home until like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd go to bed and I'd sleep till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Talk about vampire life. Totally like you're saying. Oh, your nickname? Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. But I have to work tomorrow, and I probably need to dial down the live stream in about 15 minutes because I have to do a few things on my computer, which Jess, Connor, you guys, my buds, understand what I mean. I can't do that right now because I only have limited bandwidth, but reminds me, I'm going to turn off I don't want to look at the news anymore. It's giving me a headache. We'll see what other horrible news comes up tomorrow, but I hope we can get a handle on this pandemic across the world, because nothing good is coming from this, for sure. It's just ruining people's lives. It's killing people, good people and bad people. It's terrible. And if you're healthy, be thankful for that. And if you're not healthy, take care of yourself so that you stay healthy and don't get this. Connor, 4 a.m. My gosh, Connor, you are a night owl. So are you awake, Connor, or are you just kind of like half asleep and sort of listening? I'm rebooting my work computer so I can put it to work tonight. Wink, wink, nod, nod. You're very 80s at the moment with my voice. So, Connor, what do you listen to for music? Oh, I have to say my favorite classical composer is Vivaldi. Great music. Never heard of a Vivaldi song I haven't enjoyed. I think I'm like Bach. I've heard too much Bach and Mozart and Beethoven that I love Vivaldi. He's well known. Probably fairly popular with a lot of people. 11:48. Hey, it's lunchtime, Cyber Mustang. What's for lunch? What's on the menu for today? Part of the pack. You haven't slept yet? What? are you doing? That is not how you take care of yourself and stay healthy. You need sleep to stay healthy. You guys are crazy. I like sleep. I enjoy sleeping. I call it studying my eyelids. I like studying my eyelids. I enjoy it. I like rest. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Let's see. Let's find my friends in Europe over here. How about the Europe PC group too? Wink, wink, nod, nod. Bring it on. Yeah, I like studying my eyelids. I used to have a really bad joke that I was always preparing for my final exam, which means never waking up, which is not funny anymore. But when I was younger and thought I was being a smart aleck, I used to say that. But now I just like studying the insides of my eyelids. Sadly, yes. Well, you need to take care of yourself, you guys. Cyber Mustang, you need to get some sleep. Eat some lunch. Get a full belly. Lapse into a food-induced sleep and get some sleep. Right, Jeremiah, I am too. It's getting late. I got to get up early tomorrow, so. Connor, yeah, I remember that, Connor. You looked like a walking zombie. You looked like you should be on some like zombie movie. You looked like you were in some sort of weird trance. Hey, Christian Druid Clifton. Hey, Jess, look alert, look alive. Trouble in our midst, possibly. Not sure yet. But Connor, yeah, I remember that night. Jess, were you on that night when Connor was pulling like a 48-hour binge of staying awake? It's crazy. Hope I'm not going to interrupt my stream. I'm starting to do things on my computer over here. Wink, wink, nod, nod for my friends. Good night, Jeremiah. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to pop off his happy blue, taking him down as moderator. It says for the channel, so don't do anything naughty on my channel, Jess. Yeah, right. Oh, you're staying, Jeremiah? Go ahead and get. Well, I suppose you don't have to go to school, but you know, you can use this time to learn something fun. My friend was like, one of my friends was like, well, my kids are staying home, so one of the things she was going to teach them was how to make some basic, simple dishes in the kitchen, some meals, simple meals, and kind of teach them a little bit more about, you know, making meals and prepping meals. And because her kids are fairly young, they've gardened for several years. They kind of understand. They raise a lot of their vegetables in their garden, and so they're kind of at that age where she can kind of start incorporating them into how to make meals. So, ooh, it's a good skill, Jeremiah. Cooking, it's a very good skill. A lot of people don't cook very well, and I think, especially, I'll just say for the United States. I can't really speak for other countries, obviously, but we have way too many cheap, mass manufactured, ready to eat meals that are just awful, but people don't want to spend any time cooking and they want to just do whatever it is they want to do. And so they make these like frozen dinner things that are really unhealthy, and they never really learn how to cook. Cooking is not taking something out of the freezer, sticking it in the microwave, heating it for 5 minutes, and then eating it. It's so fun to watch all the cooking channels on YouTube. Oh, you can learn how to make any kind of meal you want to on YouTube. And you can learn how to do it 100 different ways. That's what I love about YouTube. Finding some good cooking channels is really interesting. My mother never really taught me how to cook. I don't know if I'm a good cook, but I've always been a really good baker. I've had a pretty good knack for baking. I've kind of come into cooking. I'm like a troublemaker. I don't really like to follow recipes. I like to like look at a recipe and then kind of alter it to make it my own. So I'm sure some people probably would be horrified by that, but I find that to be kind of fun. So street food is interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of your videos, Jeremiah. You do have quite a bit of cooking stuff on there. It's pretty cool. So the Instapot thing is like a new way of hitting North America. Hey Connor, thanks for sad, slow stuff. We were going through my phone, Connor, on all the crazy music I have. I have like everything on my phone. I mean, from classical music to country to rap to pop to hard rock. Like a little bit of everything. It's kind of crazy. To like disco music, the Bee Gees. I have all kinds of. There's like a little bit of everything on there. So yeah, I know. I want to get an Instapot. I looked at them over the Christmas holiday, but I never actually picked one up. I might have to do that this summer. My friend got one for Christmas, and she's been telling me about how amazing cooking with it has been. So I'm kind of curious. She picked up what do you call it? Instapot cookbooks. Some cookbooks that are coming out now with how to, some really cool recipes. So that's pretty fun. I'm resetting my other computer, you guys, to play some stuff for the evening. Okay, we have a problem, Jess. We have a troublemaker. We have a troublemaker in our midst. And that person is gone. Oh my gosh. Kick that person out. Why do people come into these live chats and just post the most obnoxious, rude comments? Anyway, did you see that one, Jess? We had a little troublemaker. I kind of wondered if that person was coming in was going to become a problem. Christian Druid, it's kind of fun. I think that's kind of part of making recipes to your own flavoring and things. I like to mess around with spices. And so I started, when I turned into a ketogenic follower, eating more of a ketogenic diet, it was really interesting trying to turn some of my favorite foods into a healthier keto. The hard thing I had was like the sugar substitutes for baking. That one's been challenging. Because there are some really good natural things, like we had mentioned honey, but that's too much. Unfortunately, it's still too much carbohydrate for somebody who's trying to be in ketosis. So I do use sometimes when I'm baking Truvia, which is I found the best success in baking for sugar substitutes have been the Truvia lines, which is like I think a type of stevia, but as far as replacing like flour, I have allergies to tree nuts. So most people in ketosis who are trying to replace regular flour, they go to almond flour, and I have to use coconut flour. So, and that's tricky to use. Coconut flour is really tricky. It's a very dry flour, and you got to use a lot of egg. A lot of eggs, but eggs are good for you. Get a lot of vitamin B, biotin and stuff through eggs. But I found that to be kind of tricky. A lot of recipes I found all required using almond flour, and I can't do that. So that's where my creativity has come in, and I sometimes get myself into trouble, but it's worthwhile checking out. I'm trying to set up my evenings overnight work. Right, guys? Right, Connor? My overnight work. Right, Jess? Cyber Mustang. Just got to look and make sure I'm not duplicating my work. And I was. Okay, there we go. So Who's having a good night here? Okay. Go to bed, Cyber Mustang. Thank you so much for tuning in from down there in the Southern Hemisphere. We'll catch you on the flip side, my friend. Take care of yourself. Get some food and get some sleep. Appreciate. Bye, Cyber Mustang. Okay. Just setting up some computer work for the evening. Corn flour. I can't use corn flour because it's got way too much carbohydrate. So in ketosis, when you're eating a ketogenic diet, you're trying to remove a lot of carbohydrates. So coconut flour is actually really low in carbs, high in fiber. So not all corn or coconut flours are made the same, and you kind of have to sift it a little bit. But I found a pretty good brand that I use and generally stick with it. I haven't been baking in a long time. I've been a little bit busy, so I get into trouble. You know what the problem is when I bake? I eat what I bake, and that's not good. So I don't bake too often. Because when I bake like sweet treats. I bake like muffins and cupcakes and cookies. And I did find a really fun way of making peanut butter cookies that is not low carb, but it would be for somebody who is gluten-free. Instead of using flour, I use chickpeas. And then instead of using just regular peanut butter, I actually use the powdered stuff. It's called, the brand I use is called PB Fit, and it's a powdered dried peanut butter. So yeah, I use chickpeas and PB Fit, and oh, they are so good. But they're high in carbs, so I don't make them very often because I can't eat them. But good night. Good night, Jeremiah. Thank you. I need to be bringing this one to a close, you guys. And I know I've got about 9 of you on there. So I got to actually get some sleep so I can go into work tomorrow. I don't think they're going to let me work from home, which means I got to get up extra early so I can make my 30-minute commute to the office. So I'll kind of wind this down. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Especially you guys who came back for the second night. Boy, I appreciate that. I will definitely have to do this again tomorrow night if I can swing it, if something crazy doesn't pop up in my life. Because I'm having so much fun with you guys. Jess, thank you so much for being my moderator. I'm gonna take away your blue button because I don't want you to get into trouble on my channel. Sorry. Appreciate you helping me out and getting rid of all the naughty spam bots and troublemakers that came into the chat. So it was great. I appreciate it. Be safe, you guys. Yeah, chickpeas. So if you want to, I'm trying to think if you can drop me a comment or something. I can try to find a way. I'll have to dig out the recipe, but they're really good. And because it's chickpeas, I mean, the texture, it's surprising. The texture tastes the same. It feels the same, but they're nice and moist. And I love peanut butter. So they're really good. And then you can always add in, my favorite when I do that, make those chickpea peanut butter cookies, is I like to add in some dark chocolate chips to make them like a peanut butter and chocolate chip cookie. And then they're just delicious. So anyway, thanks guys. I know I've got about 9 of you on there, so it's kind of a heads up that I'm gonna go ahead and bring this to a conclusion for my evening. Hi V, thank you so much for hanging in there. Have a safe day, lady. I will see you in chat later. I gotta cash in and get some sleep, but thank you V. Thank you, Christian Druid. Have a really good evening. Like I said, see if you can drop me a line. If you go actually, Christian Druid, if you go into my channel and you go on my about, you can click on there. It'll get you my email. You can send me an email and then I can send you that. I'll have to dig out that recipe, but if you're interested, you can do that. So good night. Good night, Thor. Thank you. Ihor. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Thor. Can't read. I'm getting so tired. Ihor, thank you so much for tuning in from Italy. I hope you're safe. I hope you stay safe. I'm so sorry that you're going through this and you're sequestered. I would love to see some video of your neighbors serenading when they go out on their balconies and serenade. I think that's just a beautiful way to get through this with your neighbors. So I think it's a wonderful thing you guys have all been doing. So I'll look forward to seeing sort of stuff on the news. But thank you guys. Ihor, be safe, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and I will check out and make sure I join you all into my pack and make sure I'm part of your pack tomorrow as well. So we'll give it a little bit of time, and tomorrow I will make sure I add you as a pack member. So hope that makes sense if you've been on the chat. But have a good evening, you guys. Take care. Get some sleep. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next live chat. Good night, everyone.